Hey, welcome to the Sharpe Way, Monday, Ask Me Anything. Yes, we are back to our 7 p.m. time slot. We've been out, I know, for several weeks, but we are back 7 a.m. Monday, Ask Me Anything. I'm here for a bunch of Q&A as you feel appropriate and as you will constantly hear me say. Like, comment, share, get it out there, like, comment, share. Let people know if we're going to grow our media, this is part of our media. So help me out, like, comment, and share. It does matter, but more importantly than even that, you got to go to my Sharpe Way Facebook page and like it. You got to go to my YouTube channel and you got to subscribe. It matters. Every little bit matters. It gets those algorithms working. And of course, on Twitter, Sharpe Way, not Larry Sharpe. Larry Sharpe is amazing, but Sharpe Way's even better. So head over to Sharpe Way, like that. And finally, if you're in a spot where you can give some cash, if you're in a good position, head over to patreon.com/SharpeWay. Throw me $5, $10, $20. If you're filthy rich, throw me $500 to $1,000. Get tons of money. Throw it my way. I'm gonna use it well. So do any of those things. I love it. Ask me anything. I want to bring up quickly just an idea that I want to start thinking about here. This COVID crisis is already trashing our economy. It's trashing our families. It's trashing our businesses. It's trashing a lot. In fact, some states, Illinois, New York, may actually go bankrupt, may even default. This could trash us worse than anything. It's possible. And if that's true, and people start talking about it as things go on and people start asking what happened, it's very important that everyone listening, when they talk about how my business got trashed or my family got trashed or the state got trashed or whatever, they're going to say things like, well, how did the COVID crisis destroy? How did the COVID crisis destroy this or break this down? It's very important that we say, no, COVID didn't do this. The government did. We have to correct them every single time they say it. We have to correct them. We must correct them if we want this to actually work for us in any way. If we want any silver lining in this horrible storm cloud, when they say, well, COVID-19 destroyed your business, right? No. COVID didn't. The government did. Well, COVID-19 made you lose your house or your job, right? No. The government did. Government wouldn't let me go and react. Government wouldn't let me do what I had to do. Government made me non-essential. Government trashed the budget of my state so that my state had to go under. COVID didn't do it. No. COVID affects individuals like that, their body, right? That does that. Didn't affect my business. Government did. Government destroyed my job. Government destroyed my business. So when they say COVID crisis destroyed this or broke that or hurt this, you have to correct them. I will. Every single time you will hear me correct them. No. It wasn't COVID that trashed my business. The government did. Well, it was a response to the COVID crisis. Yes, it was that terrible government response to a COVID crisis. That's correct. That destroyed my business, or I lost my job, or my home, or made me, or gave an excuse for my spouse to alienate me from my kid, or made the government come at me for a child support I couldn't pay, or put me in jail, or gave me a $500 ticket if I live in New York City because I don't put a mask on. That wasn't COVID. That was the government that did that. We must correct them. We must correct them. We must correct them. So please don't let them get away with it. You have to make sure that we understand it was the government that did this, not COVID. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying COVID isn't real. It's clearly real. I live in the epicenter of this. People are dying. It's real. An individual that you loved who died of COVID. I get that. Say that. That happened. But don't say your business collapsed or you lost your job or your state went under because of COVID. That's not what happened. The government's response is why that happened. That's why there's 40 million people out of work. That's why there are businesses, 40% at least, that will not come back. That's why cities will never recover, because of the government response, not because of COVID. All right, I'm going to do what I always do. Let me take some stuff here. I love listening to you. I just think you were a better VP candidate. So did I. I agree with you. I also know how much exposure the candidates will get compared to you and Gary Johnson. I don't know either. I hope a lot. I hope they get as much exposure as possible. Maybe we'll get Amash to come back and do some cool stuff for us. I hope, right? I mean, people I know didn't like Amash coming in. I was for him coming in the whole time because he brings press. Let's hope he brings more press. And the lovely and amazing and savvy and smart Joe Jorgensen gets a bunch of press. I hope so. So, hey, Larry, anything interesting happening lately? No, Joe, nothing at all. Thank you for asking. So, hey, guys, how are you? I'm happy to see that. Why don't registered libertarians get to vote for their candidate? How does one become a delegate? Could not follow that shit show convention. It was indeed a shit show convention. That's true. You couldn't follow it? Me neither. I voted, and then after the VP was selected, I went shopping with my wife. So I don't know what happened after, and I'm glad I didn't know. The way it works, those of you who don't know, you have to be a delegate to the convention to vote in the convention. It actually doesn't matter necessarily if you are a registered libertarian in your state. That might matter depending upon your state party. Your state party decides how that works. The national party decides how many delegates you get. Then the state parties decide how they select them. So, Pete, that's how it works. And the states decide you have to be registered or not, or whatever the case may be. There are certain states who actually allow you to be a delegate even if you don't live in that state. So the states decide. So I know that's not maybe a great answer for you, Pete, but we have a convention every 2 years. So there'll be another one in 2022. If you want to be a delegate to that, go to your state party and ask to be a delegate. Ask them what their process is. This year, I believe we took if not mistaken, I believe we took the primary, which allows for 27 delegates, and Hornberger won our primary. So Hornberger selected 27. And then I believe locally they selected the rest. I think that's how that worked this year. So excellent. Ryan, thank you for your hard work. Hey, we're not done yet. It's not finished. I need you still, Ryan. Don't stop. We are still rocking and rolling. All right. What are plans to end police violence directly towards citizens? You know, this is a great question. And I think the vast majority of people still aren't thinking about this like they should. This is a great point. I think the number one thing we can do to just kind of bring this back, the problem is once you bring up police violence, what very often happens is people who are pro-police jump on the you hate police side, and the people who don't like police start calling for a war on cops. I think it's a divisive issue. So when you bring it up, people start fighting. I think another way of doing this is my opinion and what I talk about all the time is let's just end the war on drugs and shine a light on how bad civil asset forfeiture is. Those two things are the major reason why cops are so violent, because they've been taught that you have to go out. It's a war. They call it a war on drugs. Right? That's what they call it, a war on drugs. So that means I'm fighting a war and I've got to be violent and I'm fighting a war. And then they militarize them with all the military industrial complex. All the stuff it makes, it now then gives all the use stuff to the police forces and militarizes them. Why? It's a war on drugs. So they need war footing. It's how it works. This began heavily in the 90s, more than anything. In the 80s too, but 90s is when it really happened. It was the height of the war on drugs and a militarized police force. And a lot of people started seeing the police force as an occupying force. And when you're seen as an occupying force, you start acting like an occupying force. And you start being very aggressive and militaristic and everything like that. And then people who don't want to be afraid tend to look at these people and go, oh, great, you're a cop, therefore you're righteous. And that's not true. So it's a big problem. I think the first thing we talk about is the idea of ending the war on drugs. And the second is shining a light on civil asset forfeiture. And the third thing, believe it or not, is cameras. And that's going to sound crazy. But if you look at, and my example is going to be the civil rights movement. If you look at the civil rights movement, people believe that the civil rights leaders in the 60s were so magically, better than those before, so magically more effective than those before. It's not actually true. There have been many amazing civil rights leaders for decades before the 60s. One thing changed that didn't really exist much at all before the 60s. TV. TV was able to shine a light and show people how bad it actually was. People didn't want to believe it. They didn't want to accept it, right? They didn't. I talk to people about civil asset forfeiture now. They don't believe me. They think I'm making it up. They think it's not true. They believe that the only time the government takes property is only after, some big, massive drug dealer who kills people gets convicted. They believe that. They don't know that. No, it's anybody on the street who happens to be a business owner who's got cash in their pocket. They don't get it. So I think shining a light on those three things will get the people to believe, maybe I got to back off. Because what you want to have happen, this is how you'll know it's going to work, is when cops start pointing out the bad cops. When that happens, that's when I know we're winning, right? If you look at almost any other profession, doctors, lawyers, bus drivers, teachers, sales reps, I don't care what field it is. If there's someone who's bad, a lawyer will go, yeah, it's a bad lawyer. That guy's not good. That doctor, that's a bad doctor. It's a bad doctor right there. Yeah, they'll tell you. Cops, quiet. The system is very much anti-whistleblower. If we shine a light on it and show those cops who point out and go, that's a bad cop, before you know it, the good cops stay, the bad cops go, or at least become apathetic. So I think the plan is those three steps and understanding when we're winning. When cops start pointing out bad cops, that's when we're winning. I think that's how that works. I hope that was a good enough answer for you. So, yes, state affiliates do that. Absolutely. Love your boot camp picture in the background. Actually, this isn't boot camp. This is not boot camp. This was my first unit, India Battery, 3rd Battalion, 12th Marines in Okinawa, Japan. My first unit was an artillery unit. It's my first unit. I think this is 88 or no, 87? Ooh, I think it's 87. I think it's 1987 when we meet this picture. I was with that unit for 3 years. So yeah, it's actually my first unit. I was in artillery, the ground side. I did some forward observation, but most of my time was in fire direction control. That was most of my time. So, all right. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. COVID is the biggest overreaction in modern history. It might be that, I'm not sure if that's true. I think history will tell, but it might be. We'll see. I'm not sure. So you broke my tiny heart, Larry, when you dropped out. I'm sending your 80-20 persuader as a bandit. Yes, please take it. I'm sorry, Kathy. I was not trying to break your heart. I was trying to be open and honest about what I felt and what I thought. And that's why I did what I did. I was forward about it. I came in with the judge. I left with the judge. That's what I did. So thank you. Keep the 80-20. I mean, I hope, and for those of you who are watching who didn't like a lot of the judge's policies, I get it. I didn't like them all either. I followed the 80-20 rule. But what did I do? I put the best shine on all of his policies. That's what we should all do. That's called supporting your candidate. If you've got a candidate you support, there's guaranteed stuff that you don't like that the candidate thinks. And if you're going to stand there and go, but that one thing, let's yell about that one thing forever, you're going to wonder why we don't have any candidates. You're going to wonder why no one stays, right? Every candidate, I had stuff I didn't like about. And I still do. Every one. So what do? I put the best shine I can on all the stuff without lying. You never heard me lie. I put the best shine I can on it. And often I don't support it. So you don't hear me say, I support this. What I say is, Candidate X believes, Candidate X says, Candidate X has been clear on. I'm not saying I like that stuff. The candidate does. That's not lying. That's supporting your candidate, as you should. You don't have to agree with every aspect of every candidate. Look, I love Joe. I'm sure people are going to say, well, this one thing about her I don't like. Fine. You don't have to scream about that. You can just put the best shine on it and keep moving. It's okay. Without question. Jorgensen, whether you like all her policies or not, way better than Biden and Trump. Not even close. By leaps and bounds better. So we're still good either way. I hope that was clear. All right. Hold on if I can keep moving here. Democrats and Republicans have fooled around long enough. Stop duopoly. The two old parties agree to spend more and more. Yes. Government sucks. Yes. Cut tax. Yes. Enough is enough. Yes. Yes, Jim. Not sure that was a question, but all good. So I'm sorry I broke so many hearts, guys. I apologize. The issue here I want to realize is, I want you guys to realize I wasn't planning on running at all. That wasn't my plan. Because I didn't think we could make the impact required. I wasn't going to run. If I was going to run, I would have started last year. I would have done the same thing I did with the governor. I would have run a year before I got nominated. So I would have raised a bunch of money, had a huge press reel, had a big team before I walked in, right? I would have walked in like that. Otherwise, why bother trying? It didn't make any sense. When a judge came to me, he had what I thought was a great plan with backing and resources that can make impact, particularly for what you guys know I'm all about, which is down ticket. Because we have to change the culture. And we can't change the culture by only being top of the ticket. Top of the ticket absolutely matters. But bottom of the ticket is how we begin to win. And as we have those victories at the bottom of the ticket, and people go, oh, you know what? A libertarian was in city council, and the world didn't end. Oh my God, the world didn't end. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, it's okay to have one at the state house, and then it's okay to have one or two in Congress, and et cetera, et cetera. So I get it, but I hope you understand. Yeah, I do cuss once in a while. I was a Marine, still am. So I do absolutely, say some of the bad words once in a while. Not that often. I try not to. So yes, I will get more time. Absolutely, I will get more time. Absolutely. So is the LP even trying to seem credible? Watch the nomination beyond disappointed delegates and the party's ability to present a serious image. Joe is fine, but Spike Cohen at the VP spot. The man whose website states he wants to go back in time and kill baby Hitler. And any press they get will be humiliating now. I want to be excited for the LP this election. I want a ticket I would be proud to promote, but it's not. I don't know if there needs to be new leadership or delegates need. I'm sure he wrote more. I think we get it, Alex. I got it. Look, it is what it is, right? This is what we got. I got it. There is an issue you're going to find with the LP. Like it or not, the LP is heavily, the LP's culture is heavily of the activist. That doesn't exist in the other two big parties, right? Democrats, Republicans have basically almost two or three wings, which I talk about often. Most people disagree with me on this, but they have a bunch of activists who do all kind of cool stuff that they want to do and push their agendas, a bunch of, clubs and parties and those kinds of things. And then they have the R's and the D's that are political machines, right? That's the political machine they have. And then they have the activists, which are completely different. I don't want that for us. I don't want us to not have activists in our party. I don't want that. I think that's a bad idea. If we do that, we're going to become either Democrat light, Republican light, or just some cult of personality of whoever walks in the door will become that. I don't want that. But we have to accept that there is an activist a personality within our party, which means people are still trying. They're thinking scarcity. We're not good enough. They don't believe. They won't tell you that, but they believe that. They believe we're not good enough, so we got to yell and scream to be heard. We got to be hardcore to be heard. None of that's true, but it's okay. For an activist, it is. For a party, it isn't. But they believe it, and that's what we do often. And we have to accept that as part of who we are. And there's a good aspect to that. It does keep us closer to our core. It points us in the right direction. I don't want to get rid of that. I think it'd be a bad idea to get rid of that. At the same time, I would like us to move more towards political party. I would. But that isn't how we were born, right? We were born as an activist movement. And then for us to move to being a political party, I don't want us to go so far to where we care only about votes and nothing else. I want us to care more about votes. I do. I think we haven't gone far enough, but I don't want us to go too far. And it's a tough balance. We're going through growing pains now. I think I say it all the time. We're going through growing pains. So I don't know the answer to your question. All I'm saying is, we do have that culture that I want us to work on. And the biggest one is that of feeling less than, not believing in ourselves in reality, acting like we do, but not. And the idea of scarcity, right? If I don't win, no, you can't win, right? That idea that everything I've got to get these pieces, not believing the pie can get bigger. And it really can, right? And I guess the hardest part about this is being angry when people come to us not already activists, right? That's a problem that we do. That part we have to end. That part's got to go away. I want the activists to stay and train the people that I bring in, right? I'm the recruiter. I'm going to bring people in, but I don't give you Marines. I give you raw recruits, and then you turn them into Marines. The problem is many of our activists want them to come in Marines because they're already Marines. And I need you activists, if you're watching me, if you're listening, let me bring in recruits. Turn them into Marines. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to at least answer that. The more national dues-paying members the state has, the more delegates. Yes, that's also true also. Yes, it goes by several things. How many votes the presidential candidate received and the amount of dues-paying members. It's a combination. Good. All right. Happy you're sticking around? Of course. I'm not going anywhere. Of course not. Yes. All right. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate that. Let's see. Why did you pave the way for anarchists to win the VP nomination? I hope that's not towards me. I didn't do that. I don't know who did. I didn't do that. Okay. I have an answer for that. Change the politicians who put horrible laws in the... Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's see. I don't know why I didn't pave the way. Okay. I love your great work, Larry. You are a great lover of liberty and freedom. You always make sense. Thank you. I try to make sense. I really do. I try my best to make sense because I really believe, and this is the thing that people don't understand, and libertarians either. And I think you see this if you watch the Stossel debate. Boy, that is exactly what I talked about. What I talked about hit home. When you leave our echo chamber and when you go to the top, fighting the top to left to right, rhetoric doesn't work. It fails. It doesn't work at all. It falls flat. You've got to have actual answers and policies. But Larry, the other two don't. They don't have to. And it's completely unfair and totally true. All the Democrats to say is, I'm not Trump. That's all they have to say. Nothing else required. And they win. And the blue vote for them. Totally unfair and true. And all the red has to do is go, I'm not a socialist. And they win. And their people vote for them. Totally unfair and still true. You can be mad about that if you want to, but it's not going to change. We can't just do that. We can't go government bad. Does not work, particularly when at least 80% of the American population loves the government. Loves it. Loves it. There's no way you can get those people to go, government bad? Let me listen to you. Those people aren't going to do that. They're just not. There's a 20% who might. Maybe if you do it right and aren't a jerk, they might hear you. But 80%, not going to hear it. You've got to have actual policies. And boy, do we struggle on that one. We struggle on that one. That's why I try to make sense. I spend my time trying to create policies that people will hear and they will like. Remember the judge and his negative income tax? Who do you think made that crutch to a ladder? Wow. Obviously, the echo chamber of Libertarian Party hated it. But if that would have gotten outside, they'd be like, oh, that's interesting. Let's talk about that ladder. People would have talked about it at least. It would have happened. You've got to have policy when you leave our echo chamber. In our echo chamber, all you do is go, government bad. And we all go, yay. It's red meat for us. We just love it. And we go, yay. He yelled government bad. Yay. And we yell and then we vote for them. And then they go off into the two-party system and get murdered in the press who don't want to hear that. So that's why I go out of my way to make sense. That's why I have policy after policy after policy. That's why I do AMAs every week to answer questions so I can make sense and have policy so that people hear me, so that other people who are watching, because I know, purposefully, I know people who watch this show, they're not all libertarians. The Democrats who watch this show, Republicans who watch this show, independents who watch this, I have them on my show. You've seen them. You've seen me put Democrats, Republicans on. They're watching. And when they watch, if I don't make sense, they stop watching. But if I make sense, they keep watching. So I've got to keep making sense. So thank you for noticing. Yes, I go out of my way to do that. So do you think Spike's the right for the LP? He is. The LP wanted Spike. The LP got Spike. That's right. I told you, I thought the right VP was me with the judge. Clearly, that's what I thought. But the delegates disagreed. So delegates get. Look, whenever you have any type of democracy, whatever that is, you get what you want in the long run, right? You show up or you don't show up. People showed up. They got Spike. Awesome. Hope Spike does a good job. He's a great speaker. I hope he's able to knock it out of the park when he gets some press. I hope he is. So, yes. Why did Moss drop out? I'm unsure. I think you should probably ask his team. My gut tells me, and this is just my gut, I have no inside information. This is just my opinion. I think he realized how hard it was going to be. I think he walked in and realized this is going to be tough. It's going to be tough getting a nomination. That's not true. It would have been easy getting a nomination. He probably would have won a nomination. It's going to be tough getting the press he wants, tough getting through the press, tough this year campaigning. I think he realized how hard it was going to be. And I think he said, you know what? Not the right time for me. Maybe he'll come back in 4 years. That's my gut. My gut says when he really got down to spending the time to looking at this and thinking how this was going to work, I think he thought there were probably too many hoops to jump through. That's what I believe. So, got it. All right. Let's see. See if I can find some of this. Do you think the purist won because people in the Libertarian Party don't want the purist won? I'm not sure that's true, Aaron. Do you think Joe was a purist? I don't think she is. At least I don't see her as one. I could be wrong. And look, I don't speak for her, so she may change. She may say she's a purist. I didn't believe she was a purist. I still don't think she's a purist. I could be wrong. I don't think so. So I'm not sure the purist won. Unless you believe that Spike is a purist. Spike, I think, is closer to a purist than I think she is. If you said that, so in that case, maybe they did. So, what up, Larry? You know what? Nothing. I'm glad you have your antivirus on. Good. So, yes, CJ, thank you for the phone call. I do talk to people. I absolutely do. That's true. Good. Absolutely. So, then you should have stayed in the race for VP when you said you would. I didn't say I would. I don't know where that comes from, Daniel. I never said I would. Why not shine for them? Because they didn't agree with my views on what should happen, right? Joe has her own team doing her own thing the way she feels appropriate, and I'm totally okay with that. That's hers. She doesn't have to pick me. Not at all. Why would I want to be a VP for someone who doesn't want me? I tried that in 2016. Didn't work. I tried that. I tried to push myself on Gary Johnson. Didn't work. Gary Johnson wanted Bill Weld, and he went off of Bill Weld and did his thing. Didn't work. He didn't want me. I get it. These people want who they want. And you might go, well, Larry, she would have taken you. And she probably would have. I think she said that. But she didn't go, I prefer Larry Sharpe. And that's okay. Again, she didn't have to. I'm not upset about that. But if she would have said that, I might have considered it. The way that the judge came to me, he came to me with a plan, which was basically my plan that we fixed after the failures of New York State. Resources, polling, everything we needed, he came with it already. So, of course, he wanted. The other candidates didn't think that my plan was the right plan or didn't have a plan. Either one. Some of them had a plan, some didn't. Or didn't believe my plan was the right plan or didn't think I was the one to enact it. The judge did. He thought I was the person to enact it. The others didn't believe it. They thought, well, maybe, whatever. If you think I'll take Larry versus Larry's the one, why would I jump on that ticket? I want you to go, Larry's the one. And the judge said, Larry's the one. He was running with me, and that was it. That's what he wanted. And I was okay with that. And I don't have a problem with that at all. So there's nothing against them. We can think differently in this party. And maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe just because I say it doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, it does. No, just because I say it doesn't mean it's right. It's just what I feel. So, Daniel, that's why. I never said I would stay in it. I didn't say that. So I don't know why you think that. But I'm sure Spike will shine for Joe as best he can. Awesome. Who was your favorite congressman? I don't have one. I'm kidding. The only libertarian congressman. Justin Amash. Of course. He's got an L by his name. I love it. President will be great for the libertarian. I agree. Be amazing. But local elections are so important. Yes. Yes. Look, if you're not happy with how the LP elections turned out, okay. I have an idea for you. Focus locally. If you're happy with how the election turned out, jump on the Jorgensen train. Jump on. Let's get busy. Absolutely yes. But if you're unhappy, if you're like, no, my guy should have won. Okay, no worries. I hope you still jump on the Jorgensen train. I hope you still do. But if you don't, focus locally. Still works, right? The advantage of me not winning the VP, I can focus more on New York State. Not a bad deal. It's win-win. It's win-win. So yes, Ryan, you're completely correct. Right. Yes. A lot of the country is pushing for more protectionism in regards to China. How would you convince the public that more freedom and more trade is the way to go? Right. The answer here may actually be protectionism, but not through government. to the individual American deciding that they're only going to buy products that are locally sourced or American made. I don't have a problem with that. As long as the consumer decides that that's the value that they believe, I have no problem with that, right? And that's the issue. Once you start doing things like tariffs and trade wars, nothing but bad. But if the consumer decides, you know what, I only want to buy this type of product. And I'll give the example many of you will hear me say often. In New York State, we have, or had, I don't know if we still have anymore, a thriving local beer brewery industry. And there are many New Yorkers who will happily pay $2 extra for a beer because they know it's locally brewed. It matters to them. They want to support the local economy. They drop $2 extra. Done. Easy day. People do it voluntarily. The consumer decides. When we decide that we want to punish China for the way it's acting by not buying their products, totally okay. The right answer. Do it. Say, China, act the right way. I'm not buying your stuff. If you go to Walmart and you do not buy the Chinese-made crayons for 25 cents, but you buy the American-made crayons for 50 cents, and Walmart sees that, they'll stop buying Chinese crayons. So I'm actually not against protectionism in general. I mean, in theory, I'm against the government making that happen. If you want to do that because you care more about your local or American-made products, please do that. And I think the way we get people to decide that is by shining a light on it more than anything. The more we shine a light on things again and again and again and again, the more the consumers will decide. How do I know that? I'll give you the perfect example of this. New York City, vegans. There's no law that you have to be vegan or not be vegan. There's no rule saying you have to be. But so many people talk about it and shown it. People pay extra to get vegan food. People will not eat certain foods because it's not vegan. People will travel an extra block or two to go to a vegan restaurant in New York City all the time. In fact, if you go back 15 years, hardly any vegan joints. Maybe 15, 20, depends how you look at it. Now, vegan joint, well, not anymore because of COVID, but prior to COVID, a vegan joint every block. Every block. No rules, no laws. The consumers decided, enough of them, that they cared about vegan products. So if you go into many of the stores in Manhattan, meaning like food stores, you're going to find a vegan section, which you wouldn't have found before. Now you do. Again, no rule, no law. The consumer said, we want vegan stuff. And the store said, all right, here you go. Restaurateurs, here you go. So again, if we want to punish China, shine a light on it. Start showing, here are American-made products. Here are Chinese-made products. Watch things change. As long as consumers decide, I'm totally fine with that. And I think it is shining a light on it more than anything. Do you think there was anything else you and the judge could have done better to win? You guys did great. Just wish others had thought about down to get ballots. Yeah, we could have. We made errors. We did. We made some errors. It's true, and most of them we couldn't get around. The activist mindset that is heavily in the LP just couldn't hear him anymore. Just couldn't. And errors were made, and we couldn't get around them. I wish we could have. I still think it was the best possible ticket, but it is what it is, and it's done. But yes, absolutely. I mean, if I had to do it again, I think the team would have listened to me a little bit more. I think they would have, and we would have had another chance. And it might happen again. Who knows? So I hope I answered your question. Yes, I don't blame the LP for losing. It's not the LP's fault, right? We made errors, and we couldn't get around them, and we lost. That's kind of how elections work. I wish we didn't. I wish we made better choices. I wish we'd done things better. I wish the LP was more open to what I was saying. When we came in late, also hard, and everyone got mad because we came in late. It was a huge disadvantage coming in late. If we had come in earlier, we probably could have got over some of the problems, could have fixed them in some way, shape, or form. We had a chance of fixing them. It's too late. So, yeah, it actually was not. Coming in late was not an advantage. Coming in late was a disadvantage. And if we would have known what was going to happen, I wish the judge would have tapped me earlier. I wish I had come in earlier. That would have worked also. But things happened. So, yeah, I'm not blaming anybody but us. It's not the LP's fault we lost. I can't blame them. So, hope that was clear at least. I wish you would have run with Joe, but I get it. Do you have any honest inside information on why Amash out so quickly? If I actually had insider information about Amash, would I say it publicly? It's an odd question to ask, right? Anyway, Yes. Good. Have you read Permanent Record by Edward Snowden? No, I guess I should. Thank you. He is one of my heroes, who I think should get a Medal of Freedom. So I guess I should now. I'm going to take that note. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for loving my show. I appreciate that. I'm doing well, Michigan Blues brother. I do appreciate that. All right. I'm not taking calls yet. I'm going to start taking calls probably next month or the month after. I'm going to set up so I can't take calls again. Again, my studio is locked down. So to do this, I have a separate studio, not the one that I used to do, which had phones. Hopefully I'll reboot that and we can make that happen. That's my hope. All right. If the LP puts some focus on state house races, we could win. And if Yal endorsed our candidates, maybe we could risk winning some seats. I think that's true. But to be forward, I don't blame Yal. I don't blame Yal. We have not done a good enough job attracting the right candidates as a party. We haven't. We have pushed a lot of candidates away because of our scarcity activist mindset. That's the mindset, the culture that's still in the party. So someone comes in, and it's funny, when we first started talking about running, the judge and I, we sat down and said, well, what's going to be one of our biggest issues? I said, not Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians. They'll be our biggest problem. It won't be. Democrats and Republicans will ignore us. They don't care about us, and they're still ignoring us. They ignore us. The damage we get is always backstab from our own people. That's the norm. Most of the people who are in other parties are unaccustomed to that. So if they get a backstab, it is a major backstab that finishes them off. Like they get thrown off a ballot because some other guy or gal walks in from their party. It's a major backstab. It's not. We backstab for petty shit. Just means nothing. We'll just backstab you. And they aren't accustomed to that kind of backbiting and fighting inside the party. Again, it's a scarcity mindset. We're never going to grow anyway. We're never going to win anyway. That's the mindset we have. So when that begins to happen, a lot of the candidates either won't come in, or once they come in, they leave. Or once you leave, once you lose, oh my God. Oh, if you've run to the top of the ticket and lost, oh my God. If any of you have gone through that, oh. If you're a Democrat or Republican and you lose, they forget about you. They go, okay, whatever, next. If you're a Libertarian, oh, how horrible you are. What a piece of garbage you are. All the mistakes you made. Put you on arrest. I knew you sucked. It's just horrible. The attacks you get. You have to be able to put up with all those attacks. Most people can't. So they leave and go, LP sucks, never come back. So why would Yao get on board until we fix that? So we have some people who actually want to stay and keep supporting each other. I'm trying to be that guy. I'm trying to be the example of staying, supporting, helping, trying my best to do that to the best of my ability. But boy, is it hard. And if you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about. As soon as you lose, you're the worst person in the world. They all hate you, blah, blah, blah. But it's the second part we have here. And this is still true. We have a bunch of people who constantly do vanity runs. Just constantly do vanity runs. I have something to say, so I got to run for Congress. Or I think I'm smart, so I got to run for president. Or I need to be valid, so I got to run for city council, or whatever that is, some vanity run. They're going to raise no money. They're going to make no impact. They're going to do nothing but be a paper candidate. And we have a history of people doing that and thinking they're doing something to get in the ballot. You're doing nothing. But donor burnout, because people give to you and you give them nothing in return. Volunteer burnout, because people bust their ass for you and you give them nothing in return. And then you leave and don't come back. So you've built nothing. They've thrown their time and money in the garbage. You wonder, why do we not grow? This is why I don't leave. The people who give me money, and I ask you for money all the time. And when I run, I ask you for money and time like there's no tomorrow. I bug you. When I ran for a year and a half, I was bugging you guys for time, money, and energy all day long. But I gave you something, and I'm still going to give them in return. You gave me, I want to give back. I want it to be an equal exchange of value. In fact, if I'm a businessman, I want you to feel like I gave you more than you gave me. I hope you do feel that. I'm trying to make that true. We don't have a history of that. We have a history of we run, we lose, people backstab us, get mad at us, we never come back. I'm trying to break that, and I hope more people follow my example. Some will, some won't. So I wish we'd stop the damn vanity runs. I wish we'd stop that stuff. It's just a waste of time and money, but we do it anyway. And that makes it harder, right? If you're a donor, I'll give you a true story. When I ran in 2018, there were a lot of big donors who wouldn't give me any money. Would not give me anything. And I got mad. I really got mad. I was angry. I was angry at one of them that I literally yelled at them when I first met them, when I first sat with them, because I was so angry of what happened. I was so mad at them. I literally, my opening was, what the, that's how I opened. I was so angry. And he told me something that really made me feel better about myself, better at the party, but better about myself. He goes, Larry, it's not you. He said, I've just been disappointed so much. And when he said that, I thought, oh, it isn't me. This isn't personal. It's the culture that everyone said, I'm going to win and I'm going to do all this stuff. And they gave him money and then failed miserably. Weren't ready for the big leagues. Weren't ready for the big time. Weren't ready for the press. Can't build a team. Can't raise money. Not real They're activists who think they can be candidates. And they're different animals. Both super valuable. I hope I'm not putting down activists. I'm not. We need them. They're critically important. Right now, I'm one, right? I mean, they're important. They're just different. Candidates are not activists. Activists are not candidates. They are both valuable in their own right. Both are important for our movement to move. We can't lose either of them. We need both. We're struggling, though, for candidates. That's where we're struggling now. So I think that's one of the reasons. So after I ran, the amount of people who were like, oh, Larry, I should have supported you. I'm sorry. I want to support you. And they were going to support me again for the VP run because they thought, okay, Larry will do something. They'll get behind me. So someone wanted to get behind me when the judge came in. They were like, yeah, 100%. I got like 7, 8 calls within 2 hours. When the judge called me, I got like 7 or 8 calls within 2 hours going, Larry, do this. We're behind you. We're behind you. So that's how I knew we had money behind us. They all supported the judge. They all supported me. That's how I knew we had money behind us. But it's very difficult if you have candidates who just leave afterwards and we attack each other and beat each other up. Wow, I went way long on that, Dan. Sorry about that. Hopefully this answers your question. Okay. Go Joe. Yes. And let's turn New York gold. I agree. Absolutely. Thank you for supporting my decision. Look, also, if I'm going to run, I gotta take off 6 months out of my life. Would I do that to not get what I want? No. And maybe that sounds selfish, but I don't think it is, because what I want is down ballot to be set. I want to win a state. I want to help out down ballot for the next 4 years. I want to gain ballot access in New York State, right? The judge agreed that he would let me spend time in New York State if we got the VP. He agreed. That was part of the deal. I wouldn't have said yes if he didn't agree to that. And he did. He was like, yes, I know, Larry, you care about New York. I'll give you time in New York State. And he would have come too, right? He would have spent time in New York State also. He knows that it mattered. He would have done it. Others weren't prepared to say that kind of thing. So, I wanted what I wanted. And I took 1.5 years out of my life to run for governor. And I got results that I wanted. I mean, not that I wanted, but that I was satisfied with. We got victories. We got people excited. Totally worth it. This, I don't think, would have been that way. So, will I be in Orlando? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Now I can be the keynote if they want me to again. I don't know if they may already have somebody, but yeah, I absolutely would. Yes, I absolutely would. I don't know who Daniel Davenport, the Democrat, is. I don't know. Should he be on my show? Maybe I should invite you on my show, Daniel. I'm not sure who he is. Maybe I should. Thank you for what you've done. Davison for Delegate 2021. Yes, thank you. Let's keep rocking. I love it. All right. The LP chaos what it looks like when a party's membership actually control the party. That's not a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it could be a pain. I get it, but there's value to bottom up leadership also, right? I know there's some value to top down. I think both are important. I can see both. Yes. Yes, Brandon. I am so happy you won that. City's water board seat. Yes. You can actually let people know what a libertarian looks like without them being afraid. And they get afraid all the time. My friends in New York City, libertarian, oh my God. They immediately assume off the bat, libertarian, oh, that means you want us to be fighting in the streets for gas, with machine guns, and it's Road Warrior and Walking Dead combined. Of course they think that. But it isn't that. And I'm very glad. Good. All right. We need you in Michigan. Or maybe, Tom, we need you in Michigan. Maybe we need you in Michigan. That's what I think. But I'm happy to come by and help and support Michigan. I am. I'm happy to head on out to those other states. I do it all the time. I'm happy to go visit and help raise money and all those things, of course. So what is your plan to get some state level L's in the state house? So when you run and win governor, I like that. See, Jeffrey's thinking. Yes. I'll tell you, I'm going to be talking with Tony DeRazio, who is the New York State LP chair. And I'm talking to him this week to come up with a plan for how I can visit upstate and support both Joe Jorgensen's run, support her throughout New York State, so we can get more votes for her, obviously, and so I can support local candidates who are running, right, for local and non-local. If you guys seen I will often do 3 to 4 times a week, I do Libertarian Drinking Coffee Live. I very often take 45 minutes and just talk to a local candidate. Give them some airtime, conversations, all those things. So, yes, that's how we do it, by letting more people know about it, going out there, raising some money. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Let's see. Daniel can guarantee our next win. I love that. So, you know what? I need to have you on my show then. Amazing. The need to concentrate on Michigan, go for adult women in professional fields. I love that. There is. She's right. There are certain ways of going through it, right? If you look right now, there are certain people we can grab naturally, right? And there are people, the Democrats who are unhappy with Biden and Republicans who are unhappy with Trump. But there's a little bit of peace there. There's a chunk of Democrats, and it's right now a large chunk that really, really hate Trump. And that group of Democrats is never going to vote for us because they're going to look at us as, oh, we vote for them and we elect Trump. That group of Democrats this year will not hear us. It is literally a waste of time to talk to that group of Democrats. But there is a group that don't hate Trump, just are unhappy with Biden and are not happy with Trump. That group will hear us. That group we can talk to. And on the right, there are a group of people who just love Trump, love him. They're not going to vote for us. Don't bother talking to them. They're not going to hear us. But there's a group who just go, I prefer Trump, people who prefer Trump to Biden. That group will hear us, right? The people who prefer Trump to Biden will hear us. But those who love Trump, they're not going to hear us. If you've got someone who's that, I hate Trump, he's the reason for everything, or I love Trump, he's playing 6D chess. If you want to talk to him because of your friend, fine. But please don't talk libertarianism. It ain't going to work. Don't waste your time. After the election, they might hear it again. Before the election, they're not going to hear it. Find the person who doesn't like Trump, but doesn't like Biden, prefers Trump, but doesn't love Trump, prefers Biden, but doesn't hate Trump. That's what we're going for when it comes to R's and D's. When it comes to the middle ground, we've got to give people an answer for this. Give them an answer, and they'll hear you. Otherwise, they don't want to talk to you. They're going to be like, whatever. They're not even going to bother. Listening to you. You think we just get 5%? I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that, Kevin. I don't know. The worry I have is COVID. I don't know what's going to happen there. The advantage of COVID, and I hate to say there's an advantage, it's a horrible thing, but there's an advantage is everything's shaken up. So there's a chance, we could win the damn thing, right? If look, Trump is going to blame China, Biden's going to blame Trump, then Trump is going to blame Obama, then Obama's going to blame Republicans they're all going to blame each other, right? So who knows what's going to actually land in the American psyche. If what lands in the next 3 months in the American psyche is, it's all Trump's fault, he could lose. If what lands in the American psyche is, no, it's all, Obama's fault, he could win. I don't know what's going to land in the American psyche in the next 3 to 6 months. That's my concern. If it lands both, everyone's screwed up, they've screwed us over, we have a shot. If not, we're going to struggle. Depends on what lands. Good. All right. If governments of the world say no one travels or works without a certificate of vaccination, what can we do if we don't trust it? They have a bad track record. You are totally correct. And this is one of my worries, right? The biggest worry I have long-term, right? Long-term from this COVID virus is not actually specifically the vaccine or not actually specifically the reaction, not actually specifically even the damage being done. I think over the course of years, we can get around the economic damage. It's going to hit at least for 10 years, at least maybe 5 to 10 years. We're going to feel the damage of this. But the biggest issue is how fast the American people just collapsed under tyranny. That is the biggest issue, Dave. And that's why what you're saying is real. My biggest worry is exactly that, how we folded so fast. And not only did we fold quickly to tyranny, but we welcomed it and we clap at it. Literally. And here in New York at 7 o'clock, every day, 7 o'clock, people come outside from their prison cells of their home And clap. Thank you for making me non-essential. And let's clap the essential people. We literally clap. Guy was playing a trumpet the other day outside. Serious. My neighbor playing a trumpet. The guy playing a violin. They're playing, yeah, we're trapped and we're non-essential. Thank you, Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio. We're nothing. And we were happy. Still happy for it. It's devastating us. And we're totally happy. My governor, it's got an 80% approval rate. 80% approval rating. Yeah. They'll say no one can travel unless they have this vaccination or this chip or this stamp or this insert mask, this whatever. We'll go, okay. It's Dave, I don't know what to do. I think the answer is the same thing. Vote Libertarian, number one. Vote gold. Because Democrats and Republicans will say exactly the same thing. Don't think Democrats will care about civil liberties. They won't. Only Republicans will care about freedom of speech. They won't. They don't. They talk that talk. They will not act that way at all. They will jump right on board of this. And they'll say, well, there's just science there or whatever. And that's all they'll care about, nothing else. They won't care about rights at all. There'll be no mix. It'll be whatever works for them. It's a great question. I wish I had a better answer. Vote gold, number one. Two, shine a light on the idea that the actual answer for this wasn't our response, but was Sweden's response. I'm going to say it again. It wasn't our response. It was Sweden's response, which was information, and allow people to decide, and it still works out. Their curve was basically flat too. It's a little bit higher than their neighbors because their neighbors locked down. They didn't. So it was higher, but it was still flat. Still flat. Their biggest issue was the same issue we had, which was we sent people back into the old folks' homes. That was dumb. And they died horribly in there. Over half of the deaths the Swedes got was people in elder care facilities, right? That was the biggest problem they had was elder care facilities. That was their error. Same error that we made. We locked down and did it. They didn't. They just didn't think far enough ahead. Then they changed their policies as we did, and now it's a bit better. But that was a mistake they made. But they've learned. Now they have protocols for the next one. We don't. Our protocol for the next one is shut it all down again, destroy everything. Government rules. I'm sorry I went long on that, Dave, but you bring up a valid concern. All right. Okay, that's a different question. All right. Larry Sharpe, Libertarian for VP. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for your service. Thank you, brother. Daniel was spamming me now. Thank you, Daniel. Larry Sharpe, do you know any bad words in Spanish? I do, and I'm not going to use them. But yes, I do, Michael. Absolutely. Yes. Any words of support / advice for Jo Jorgensen? Absolutely. I hope she does very well. I hope she's able to get out there. Any press is good press. Make some policies. Policies. Thank you very much. Yes. Being a great communicator. I appreciate that. Amen. Stoss debate was definitely eye-opening. Absolutely. It was exactly what I worried about. Exactly what I said before. And sadly, nobody wanted to hear me. But yes, sadly, I think you will see it again. This isn't the first time. I mean, Stossel is he's actually an easy one. I was on Stossel more than once. So was the judge. He isn't that hard of an interviewer, but he was harder than most. And boy, was that tough. You know, getting out of the echo chamber is very hard for many people, particularly those who are activists, right? It's very hard. Absolutely is. So, how to retain people in the party when the V POTUS candidate will shine a different light to the rest of America? I feel like the press will exploit the Joe Vermin spite campaign. Maybe. I'm unsure, right? I mean, it's a great point, Kevin. Maybe. I don't know. There's something you have to realize. There's always going to be an anarchist streak in the LP, and that's not a bad thing. Right? There are anarchists in the LP. I believe that most LP members, both in the party and people who would consider themselves smaller Ls who aren't very active, I think the majority of libertarians are not anarchists. But there's always going to be an anarchist streak within us. And I'm not against it. Again, as I was say, it's not a bad thing, right? I think we do want to have that streak in us. But again, it's not the major part. Very often people would tell me, you, Larry, you're a libertarian. You want to destroy everything tomorrow. I said, some do, but not me. I'm not destroying everything tomorrow. I hope one day we all get to a totally voluntary society, but not tomorrow. I get that. And they go, oh, really? Yeah, but some do. I don't deny that fact. It's true. I want to get there too. right? To be forward, I want to get there also. I just don't want to get there tomorrow because I know the damage that happens and the fear that happens, and people who are afraid make bad decisions, and I don't want that. So how do we get around that? I don't know. I think the press might exploit it. It depends, right? If what the press usually does, again, I've been through this, guys. They ignore you. They ignore you. You're just going to bring this up? Libertarians will. Libertarians will. People who are libertarian are going to go online and go, see how stupid this is, and put up all kind of crap to dump all over our candidates. The left and the right are going to ignore us. The mainstream media are going to ignore us. And when they see us, I can guarantee you it will be dismissive because they always just dismissive. Remember the thing you just seen? They called Joe Jorgensen, oh, another grandma. Dismissive. That wasn't to be nice. That was to be dismissive. That was the goal. So they will always be dismissive. I'm not sure they're even going to care about. If they actually care about Vermin, the boot in the head guy, if they care about that, it'll be because we're actually doing something. Otherwise, they'll probably just ignore us and be dismissive. It's my assumption. So I hope I just explained the anarchism within the party. I think we need to have it. It's an important part of our party. Yes. Let's see here. Stossel was great at trying to get more from the candidates. Goes beyond rhetoric. Yeah, but we don't have any. That's what my point is, right? The only candidate who actually had non-rhetoric was the one you guys didn't want, was the judge. Why? I was in that campaign. The first thing I did was create actual policies. We had many of them that the LP hated. But we had many of them at least, right? The policies we had actually were going to be pretty popular outside of the echo chamber. Didn't matter. No one else had policy because you don't have to, right? When you're in the echo chamber, all you have to do is every time there's a question, go, get Goodman out the way. Done. Yay, we love you. Yay. Say it louder and you win more votes. That's what we do. That's how it works. I get that. We did not, the judge and I did not do a good job enough of that at all. We should have done a whole lot more of that. We probably should have just done nothing but that. And we didn't, but that's not who we are. So we try to be honest and transparent to who we are. LP didn't like it. What are you going to do? It's how it works. The LP wanted rhetoric. And they got it. Tons of it. Government's too big. And yay. But when you get outside, we don't care about that. So yes, I agree. That's why Stossel was very opening for that. Absolutely. So, see, crushed to a ladder. Great line. I like that. Absolutely. Thank you. Good line. I agree. Tribalism is human nature. 100% it is. And constantly, we shift left to right. And the only way to get the person in the middle is to have an actual answer. Someone's got to have hope that if I go to something that's not my tribe, that there's a difference, right? That there's hope of change or something like that. We have to hope that. Daniel, stop spamming. Will you stop spamming, Daniel? Enough. No more spamming. Stop. Yes. All right. Let's see here. You had 7 conversations this week? Well done, Space Dawn Inc. I love that. Absolutely. Where will Joe get media? Probably internal, more than anything, Reason, that kind of thing. I don't know where else she'll get it. I don't know. She might get a CNN town hall, maybe. That could happen. If her and Spike knock it out of the park, they may get another one. That's what I said before. They might get it. It's possible. I hope so, at least. I hope they get some of that. I think most of the media will be online, is my assumption, because most of it's online in general. I hope they get it. They might. I'm hoping that they will. The issue is, do people believe that it's valuable? All right, Daniel, what are you doing? You are like spamming everything. Stop spamming. If you spam again, I'm going to block you. Stop spamming. All right. Anyway, I get it. You love me. I love you too. Just don't spam. Okay. What is the best way to empower Appalachia? Yes, 100%. And number one way is stop insulting people from Appalachia or Appalachia. Am I saying it right? Appalachia. Please stop insulting them. It's simply, they're Americans like everybody else is. Stop insulting them. For some reason, we decided that it's completely okay to insult people from that part of our country. And it's embarrassing. We should stop doing that. Number one, stop doing that. And the next thing is to realize that that is an untapped resource of people who are prepared to work really hard. They used to be coal miners. Those are hardworking people. What are we doing? Right? I have an idea. Let's start putting things like, I don't know, nuclear power plants there. I'm making that up, but I'm saying something like that will get people who need people to work and work hard and get stuff done. They're happy to work. They want to work. Oh my God. So I think that's how you do it. I think you turn that area into something that, you can manufacture something there, build something there. Where the not my backyard, the NIMBYs will happily go there to get jobs. Right. So, I don't want to have a power plant in my backyard. Appalachia will take it happily. Let's empower them. And then when they start growing, people go, oh, all the jobs are there. I should go work there. Then the people at Appalachia can go, you don't fit. You're not part of us, and kick them out. I'm kidding. But that's the issue. Stop insulting is number one. Realize that there's some of the hardest working people that we've had in our culture and in the history of America, some of the hardest working people that we've ever had. And then third, help them to build something new. And I think they'll jump on it. I think that's the way you do it. Yes. Let's see here. I'm sorry if you already mentioned it, but your position about July 2nd sitting in-person convention in Orlando. I actually didn't watch that part of the I actually left. I actually left that part of the convention. Once the VP was selected, I walked away. But to read forward, as I said earlier, I actually am not torn either way, whether we should or shouldn't. All I cared about is one thing, was a place for us to get together and to get some press. At that point, when I first mentioned that, I assumed Amash would be part of our convention, either as a speaker or as the nominee, was my assumption, which meant the press would show up. So I really wanted the press to be there. I just wanted some place for us to meet. If it's July in Orlando, fine. If it's a month later, we already have our nominees. So whenever this thing is, as long as it's not after September, October's too late. So if it's July, August, September, I'm fine. Whatever's going to be a physical spot where I hope Amash will be part of as a speaker or as something that will get press there. Because someone was just asking how is Jorgen's going to get press. This is one of the ways she'll get press. So I think we should have, in some way, shape, or form, some type of in-person meeting in some way. I think it should be before October. October, I think, is too late. And whatever that is, as long as press and Amash show up, I don't really care. I'm good either way. So, let's see. Anthony, what qualities did you see in Joe Jorgensen? I'm not sure this is for me or someone else. I'm not sure if it was. It's for me. The only other people who she could go up against would be Howie Hawkins and the Greens, Biden or Trump. I like Howie. I do. I know him personally. We ran against each other in New York. He was the Green Party candidate in New York State in 2018. He was on my show. I'm actually like Howie. I think he's a good guy in general. He's too socialist for me. That's it. He goes too far for me. But he's a nice guy. I like him. Biden and Trump. I don't have to say anything, do I? I would definitely I'd rather have Joe. I'd probably take Howie over those two begrudgingly. Probably take them begrudgingly. But I'd much rather have Joe than those two. So, all right. Let's see. Yes, I agree completely. Yes. Larry always said he would stay only if he felt he could make a real impact. Yes, absolutely. Correct. Yep. Good. Let's see if I can. Larry, your knowledge being on the front lines in the hyper political NYC is invaluable. And that's my point, right? A lot of people who run don't actually understand how difficult it is to talk to people who are ideologically left or right. It's difficult. And when you see people who are that much, oh my God, it's hard. It's hard. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just difficult. It's just difficult. So, yes, I want the consumer to decide. Absolutely. That's what I want. Yes. All right. Let's see. I still see the need to move manufacturing from China and Asia and move what we can back to USA. We have other nations in the Americas for South and Central that would benefit both parties. They get jobs and transfer a better life. We get less illegal immigrants and fewer drugs coming to the nation. A good point, right? If we have stronger economies throughout North and South America, we will have less people rushing to America for jobs because there'll be jobs there. If we end our war on drugs, if we end our war on terror, we'll stop making refugees and immigrants because we're making them, right? As we help bomb in Yemen and bomb in Syria, They're coming here. We're making refugees, right? Bombing in Libya. We're making refugees. As we have our horrible war on drugs we perpetuate through Central and South America, we're making immigrants. We're making their life harder. I completely agree, William. We should stop that, and we'd have less of them. I agree. And we'd have more jobs here, of course. All right. Education, unfortunately, that is not our place to keep monitoring. Okay, that's not for me, I don't think. All right. Let's see. Keep going. Both Mons and Gray made big mistakes when I started their campaigns last year. Richard, I agree completely. Gray didn't want to run. I don't know what Mons was thinking. I wasn't part of that. I agree completely. That's why I said if I would have run, if it was me who wanted to run, I absolutely would have run last year. Richard, you are completely correct. Absolutely. So will Judge Ray continue to be active in the party? Yes, absolutely. Of course he would. That was the biggest reason why I wanted him to win. I don't mean to be mean, guys, but I'm just being forward. Where are all the guys from 2016? Yeah, they go away. They go away. They go away. Well, I'm not going away. I was here 4 years ago. I'm still here. Judge was here 8 years ago. He's still here. You know, when I was running around the country last 4 years, I say it all the time, and I'm proud of it, so I'll say it again. I went to over 60 individual separate conventions, state and local. I raised money for 20 of them, some more than once. And except when they were running actually for president, take that out, when they're just not running for anything, I only saw 2 people who were in the race running around. Adam Kokesh, Judge Jim Gray. Nobody else. They all forgot about us all of a sudden. But I saw Jim Gray in other states. He came to New York even to talk in Cornell. He came to Colorado to talk there too. He was out there talking about education, voucher systems, breaking down the government monopoly education. He was talking. So was Kokesh. Talking about the idea of futurism and all kinds of things he was talking about. Yeah, they were out there helping people. Nobody else was. So, yeah, he'll still be active. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted him to win. Because no matter what would have happened at the end of 2020, no matter what would have happened, as a presidential nominee, he'd have been the only guy who would have been coming to local places to support the local people. Because that's what he does. Will Joe do it? I don't know. I hope so. Please, Joe, if you're watching, I hope you will do it. I hope you will. But in the past, hasn't happened. Hasn't happened. They walk away. The VP walks away, and the president walks away. That's what happens. This time, it wouldn't have happened if it was us. I hope that won't happen this time. So I might. I'm open for 2024. It might happen. Same rules, though. If I see a plan and a pathway to success, a pathway to impact, I will consider it. If not, no. That's it. So, all right. What do you think of Louisiana? I love this. What do you think of Louisiana House passing a term limit resolution on Congress? Ben, how would I know that happened? You know I don't live in Louisiana, right? How would I know that happened? I appreciate you asking me the question, but how would I know that happened? I usually don't watch Louisiana C-SPAN. So, but thank you for saying that. You support a convention of states. You know, it's funny. At first, I was very much against the convention of states. I've changed since then, but I was so afraid that if we had a convention of states, we would just basically put socialism into our constitution. That was my worry. I was very concerned. And I saw it in New York State. In New York State, by the way, many of you may or may not know, education is now a right. My worry is that if we do it again, healthcare will be a right and everything will be a right. Everything will be a right. So that's my concern. However, my mind's been changed on this. I do think a convention is a good idea because it's the best way for us to get our views out. Guys and gals like us are going to be aggressive in being part of that and talking about it. So I've come around, Ben. If this was about 4, 5, 6 years ago, I was like, nope. Now I'm like, yep. So I've changed my mind. I am absolutely in favor of that. My mind has been changed. My fear has gone away. Yeah. Well, no, it's not true. I'm still afraid. I still am afraid of that happening. But I think the benefits outweigh my fear. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But I'm still afraid that will become the USSR if we have a convention of states. I am a little bit worried. So, all right. Democrats and Republicans are trying their damage to ignore us. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes. Larry Sharpe for LNC chair. Not just no, hell no. Did you see what happened? You want me to go through that? Why don't you do that? I'm going to pass on that one. Thank you. I appreciate the offer. You want to put me into that thing? No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Thank you for answering my question. How can we push the LP to winning states and influencing the party toward down ticket voters as opposed to pulling the hat trick like Trump with 99% of losing? I'd rather win a state or two and show we can win as opposed to winning nothing, only getting 3%. But I agree completely, Matt. I think you're totally right. I really hope that we can do that. I don't think we will. I don't think that's our goal. I think our goal is percentage. People want the percentage. I think they want that. In 2016, one of the reasons why I pushed so hard to be the VP in 2016 is I believed that I could convince the Johnson Weld ticket to go the 1, 2, 3 state plan strategy, but I couldn't. Even outside, they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to hear what I had to say. So I don't think we can. If you don't believe that already, and I think I proved that. I think I showed that in New York State, right? Some of my best outcomes were in smaller counties where I got a high percentage of votes in smaller counties. I think that was absolutely true. So, yep. I don't know how we do it. I'm not sure we can this year. I'm not sure we can. I hope we can. I'm not sure we can. COVID throws a wrench into things, so who knows? Yes. How do we get national media that we need to compete with red team and blue team? Be exciting. Be interesting. Get a whole lot of press in one small local area so it can grow. That was my entire plan. That was Judge's plan. That's what I think we should do. I hope we will. I hope we will. Larry's right about the attacks and the such in the LP. LP activists eat their own. They chase candidates out. I've seen it too many times. We had a good look. It's true, Joe. We've got to get better at this, right? But there is a balance. I don't want to get rid of our activists. They're a critical part of our party, of our culture. They bust their rump when it comes to working for us for nothing. They're amazing. They motivate people. I don't want to lose them. At the same time, I want to also support candidates who are different animals. Candidates are not activists. They're different animals. And you've got to be different when you do both of them. When I'm a candidate, I'm a candidate. When I'm an activist, I'm an activist. Two separate things. So thank you. Does the LP neglect the cities who are so dependent upon government and have been let down the most? How do we get more movement in neighborhoods like Brownsville and East New York? I think we're missing out. This is a hard one, Kevin. It's very hard. I've spent a lot of time trying to bring people of color, people from inner cities onto my show. And some come. But I found many of them are many people from that area, those areas, don't want to hear it. I'm from that. I'm a person of color from the South Bronx. And many just didn't want to hear what I had to say. Didn't want to hear it. Now more. When I ran for office, they did not want to hear it. I went into a black church. I grew up Lutheran, Baptist. I went to a black church. When they heard I wasn't a Democrat, several people walked out of the church. Yeah, this was in the Bronx, where I'm from. So it's hard. But not impossible. I think you just talk to people and you bring them aboard. I did get some people from the Bronx to vote for me. Not many, but I got some. I got some people from bad neighborhoods to vote for me. Not many, but some. I think you try. The problem is, in most cases, you have a machine in those neighborhoods. And that's the worst part. It actually isn't the people, right? The people are just people. It's the machine within the neighborhoods. The people in the worst neighborhoods have been exploited by the Democratic and or Republican machines, usually Democratic in cities, Republican in rural areas. They've been exploited by the machine so much that now the machine has heavy control over them. Many of their jobs come from the machine. Any power they have comes from the machine. Everything comes from the machine. If they fight the machine, they will personally lose a lot. So why do that? And the leadership is all tied to the machine. So they put pressure on the people who aren't part of the machine to get in line. If they don't get in line, they punish them. So it's really hard. Not impossible, but very hard. I think we keep talking. We just keep talking, bring them on, talk about their issues. I did about an hour and a half in Queens College on poverty. And some people heard me. I had people reach out to me. I reached out to the DSA, I try to talk to them. I think we just keep talking, Kevin. The answer is talk, talk, talk. Eventually, they will go, this isn't working. Libertarians aren't so bad. That's what happened eventually. I just think it's not tomorrow. Keep doing. All right. I wish our celebrities would get on board. They don't. We have a lot of them. They don't. They don't get on board. What I found, and this is the thing I found, they don't believe we can win. They don't think we can win. They don't think we have infrastructure. They don't think that we care about them. They think they believe we have too much of an activist culture. And some of those valid criticisms, some are. But when we bring any celebrities on board, they're not pure libertarians. And the second they say anything that's not pure libertarian, we begin to stab them. And to be forward, celebrities tend to have big, fragile egos. That's why they're celebrities. So when people start going, you stupid, go to hell, they go, I'm not going to go here. Why am I going to put up with you? Why am I going to put up with someone yelling me, call me names when I go into my celebrity bubble and they will treat me like I'm, royalty? Why would I go fight with these guys when I can sit in my celebrity bubble of people who love me and treat me like I'm a prince or a king? So they don't come to us. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I'm being realistic, right? When that happens, it's a problem. So they don't often come to us. But I think we could bring them on board, not necessarily to run, but to help out. There's a difference. We don't have to have them run. We could have them help us by being popular, by emceeing things, which you see they'll do. Guys like Penn Jillette, Stossel will MC things, right? They'll do the celebrity thing. That, I think, is our best way to use celebrities. That's our best way to do it. They don't want to be attached to our party as a general rule, but some do. But as a general rule, we can use them for celebrity pieces. MCing, fundraising, things like that, much better use than running. That's true. We should run them, but our party is just not ready for that. Our party is not ready for celebrity run. We aren't there. And the loss they'll take will hurt them, their egos, and they're not going to put up with it. I get it. So anyway, hope that answers your question at least. Yes. I think some LP activists want the LP to stay small. I think they're afraid. They're afraid. And there's some validity to that fear, right? You have some activists who believe that if the party gets so big, they'll be pushed to the side. And some of that's true. They won't have as much power, but nobody will, right? As the party gets bigger, the factions will have less power. That's true. And some of the activists are worried that they'll get too small. And that might happen. I'm not sure. But that's a valid concern. And the other concern is if it becomes too mainstream, they'll want to purge anarchists or purge radicals. Also, a real fear. That it's a fear, but it's a real one. I hear it all the time, which is why you hear me constantly say, I am not going to try to purge the anarchists. I'm not going to try to purge the purists. I'm not going to try to purge the radicals. None of them. I want all of them. Because people think, well, Larry, you're mainstream, so don't you want to get rid of all of them? No, I am pretty mainstream. Openly, at least. I am pretty mainstream openly. But no, I see the value of having all different names, all different groups. They're all important. People come to us with different reasons, different messages. We need multiple messages to come to our movement, right? I was talking to, I think it was Karen Harlos. I was speaking to her, maybe it was Hawaii? Maybe it was. We were talking, and she was joking about a shirt that says, legalize recreational cocaine. And she was like, isn't that funny? I said, it's great. I like this shirt. I wouldn't wear it. That's not my brand, right? The people who hear me don't hear that. But there are lots of people who will hear that. So I need people who are happy to wear that shirt because someone is going to go, what is this about? And somebody's going to go, oh, I don't want to hear that, right? So I need multiple messages to include that one. So the activists who are afraid the LP gets big, they'll get pushed aside. It's a valid fear. It could happen. We have to understand it's a bad idea to throw them all out. Bad idea to purge them. If the party gets bigger, they'll have a smaller voice, but so will everybody because smaller factions will pop up everywhere. It'll be bigger, and that's fine. They'll have to fight harder to get their voice heard, and so will everybody. And I'm okay with that. No worries. They'll have to have better messaging for their issues. Totally fine with that. Good. Fan from Texas. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. Yes, it is a mindset, and we have to work on our mindset. Absolutely. Yes. It took 32 years for me to choose a party. I'm not going anywhere. I love that. Yes, Tim. Absolutely. Some of you may not know, I was never part of a party. People ask me all the time, do you come from Democrats or Republicans? Neither. I wasn't part of anything. You know? Wasn't part of anything. So, yeah, I came. It's the person. I think you're right. Yes. All right. I appreciate this comment. That's why I'm a member of Sharpe Way, only $5 a month. And you should all be. If you like my content, please head over. Thank you so much, Joe. Please head over to patreon.com/SharpeWay and throw $5 a month. Yes, absolutely. Larry Sharpe supported. Great. That's not libertarian. F off. Hey, Josh, how about you go fuck yourself? How about that? What do you think? Right back at you. He's libertarian. Not only is he libertarian, he was libertarian probably before you were born. 92, that guy trying to stop the drug war, and he's a sitting judge. That's what he was. What were you doing? Nothing. Probably weren't even born yet. So, right back at you. You don't have to come back on. You're an asshole. So, yes, I supported him, and I would support him again. So, hopefully you got your right guy. Anyway, enjoy, Josh. All right. All I have to do is show them the facts of the vision before three parties. So, minute yet it's a bottomless chasm. Stopping everybody. I'm not sure where that goes, Kathy. I apologize, but we do have to have policies to show them. So the party needs to get its shit together. I think that's true, also, Colleen. I think it's also true. But again, we have to keep going. We just have to keep going. We're having growing pains, and we just have to keep moving. We just have to keep moving. We're having growing pains, and I get it. I feel like Joe will get the part of attention this year, even if we don't win. We need the party exposure. You know, Bill, I hope so. I hate to say this, but I'm going to be forward. It's the way it is. The fact that she's a woman does help. I don't want to play identity politics at all. And Joe has not. I'm going to be clear. Joe has not played that card. I'm glad she hasn't. She hasn't played that card. Sometimes, though, the media looks at it and says, you know, it's a woman and it matters. And you know what? I'll take whatever we can get. I'll take whatever we can get. I want us to have press. I want them to hear our message. And if Joe's the one, I'm good. I'm good. I hope you're right. Larry, I just found out about the judge and you not being selected by the LP. I'm supportive of you in every adventure. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Yes, I'll be in Orlando. Look, the world's not ending. We keep moving. We keep rocking and rolling. All good. Wow, what a class act you are. Thank you, Mary Jane. I try my best, even though I just dropped an F-bomb. Sorry about that. I'm going to blow in your class act thing by just dropping an F-bomb. I apologize. I do get upset sometimes. I get suppliers. I do get annoyed when people start jumping on stuff. And I'm going to get back at them right now. Yeah, Josh. I do support Joe. I never didn't love Joe. So stop with your trash. Anyway, some majority will elect Trump. You know, Elliot, this is my worry. What we did in 2016 as a country, you know, not as us libertarians, as a country, what we did as a country is there were a lot of people who voted for Hillary or Trump in 2016, not because they actually liked Hillary or Trump, because they simply didn't like the other person. And they were like, well, I'll take this person. And there were a lot of Trump supporters who voted for Trump, not because they loved Trump, because they just didn't like Hillary or they preferred Trump. And that's a lot of people voted because of that. So when that happened, the left and most of our media immediately started calling them all racists and horrible people and attacked them just like there was no tomorrow. And I think defensively, many of them ran towards Trump and now won't even talk about it. And you're right, they're silent. That could happen. I think it's a valid concern. It might actually happen. Yes. Candidates, activists, volunteers, and voters are different animals. Yes. James, 100% yes. They absolutely are, right? People who volunteer are different than people who write checks, are different than people who are activists, are different than people who are candidates. They're all different, right? And we should treat them differently. Absolutely true. But we need them all. We need all of them in this movement. Yes. Yes, Toya. This is absolutely the year of Libertarian Woman. Yes, yes. And those who don't know, Toya is running in Iowa. She was on my show. So yes, thank you, Toya. This is absolutely the year of Libertarian Woman. And let's keep going. Yes, you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. I'm happy. Let's take it. I'm in. All right. You know, this is a good piece, Toya, and I don't know the answer. The last few years, we've seen so much diversity. How do we capitalize on the momentum? This is a valid question and one that I struggle with. I do struggle with this. The sad part is most of the diversity in the political arena is on the left. Most of it is. So I think we have to kind of pivot our eyes towards looking at the left and trying to draw them in right now, right? Try to bring the left in. Generally speaking, this is a big general rule. The right tends to come to us faster, but also goes back faster. The left comes to us slower, but rarely leaves when they come to us. So it tends to be a harder draw to pull the left in. But when we get them, boy, they stay. They really get it and they stay. So I think it's more conversations now. And I think it's, highlighting people like you, Toya, saying, look, this is our party. It's diverse. Lots of people are in it of different ethnic backgrounds, creed, color, gender, sexual orientation. You bring it up. It's here. I think we have all of it. I think we just keep showing it as I'm keeping you up and showing and talking about you. So yes, absolutely. I'm agree with what you're saying. Someone, won't say names, is telling me my views are skewed because I don't agree that Cuomo is doing anything good. And hasn't done anything good for this state. And no matter what the facts I say, it's all my views are skewed and I'm wrong. There's no conversion to be had when someone is stuck and won't listen. Yeah, I think, people will open up when they're ready to open up. And I think we've done it ourselves. We've all done it where, no, I'm right. And we just want to be right. I think we all do it. Yep. So, yes, focus locally. Of course, focus locally. Yes. You're absolutely right. My wife, who doesn't vote Libertarian, likes Joe and vote for her. There we go. Exactly. Right. So if it happens to be because of, being a woman or because someone notices her, gets impressed. Okay. Whatever draws someone into our party, I'm good. Right. People tease me and say, well, Gary Johnson didn't bring too many people into the party. He brought me in because where I was at that time, I could hear Gary Johnson. I couldn't hear anybody else. I only heard him. So yes. So thank you for the Ken Armstrong endorsement after you dropped. Ken, much like you, are some of my favorite libertarians. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. A lot of people don't endorse candidates nationally. I tend to. So we fight over this stuff. I hope you'll forgive me eventually. Some of you won't. What are you going to do? We should be prepared to support each other even when we don't agree, as long as we're 80%. And the issue that I had initially, why I didn't really endorse anybody until a judge came in, is I agree with everybody who was running at least 80%. Most of them, I agree 95%, but at least 80% for sure, all of them. So all of them I could have supported. All of them I could have gotten behind and said, yeah, vote for this guy or gal. All of them. Jorgensen or anybody else. We got Jorgensen. Happy with that. I support her 100%. We'll vote for her. During my show, I'm going to start putting her background in my show. Not this show, but my other show. I'll start putting her background in. Absolutely. And I'm going to donate to her also. Got to get my wife to agree. But I will. I'll donate also. And I'll help her raise money. Of course, I will. Because we agree. So why wouldn't I? Yes. All right. Larry, do you play video games? People have asked me this before. Not as much as I used to. I grew up on video games as a kid. In television, if you remember that from the 80s. I know I'm old. Atari, ColecoVision as a kid. And I actually had a Commodore 64. Yes. And a Commodore 128. I had those. I used to play on those computer games a lot. When I got older and joined the Marine Corps, I didn't play as much, but I still play, but not as much. And then when I started playing PC games, the only game I play now is probably PC games. I will play Wii with my daughters. So we got a Wii years ago, and we still play that sometimes with my daughters. I'll do that. But myself, I don't play Wii. All I'll play is I play PC games. And the game I prefer still to this day, which I hardly ever play anymore, is the Civ series, Civilization. I played Civ 1 all the way through 6. And for those of you who play Civ, they make a new one every 4 to 5 years, whatever it is. So they started in, I think, 2000 in that area is when Civ came out. So it's been going on for about 20 years, and they're on the 6th version. I've liked all of them. 6 is the first version that I would say is not better than the last. Every version prior to that was better. 6 was not better than 5. First time I've done it. I hope when 7 comes out, it's better than 6 and 5. But yes, those are the games I play. I rarely play them. I'm so busy So I literally have to make time for them. And usually Father's Day, my birthday, and one day during the Thanksgiving season, 4-day weekend, I should say, I'll take time off and just sit in my office, play video games all day. So it's like 4 times a year now. So don't play very much. And I do play some games on my phone here or there. I do that sometimes to just kind of get my brain off. So some of those I do. So hope that answers your question. Do you remember when Howard Stern ran for governor? Yes, I do remember that. Absolutely. 100%. Yes, absolutely. And I was not happy about that. So yes, Cuomo got 80% approval from the leftards. Don't say that. Anyway, yes, he got 80% from liberals, but guess what else? 60% approval rate from Republicans in New York State. That's the state I live in. My Governor Cuomo, who happily put us all into quarantine, who happily shut down everything. They possibly get shut down, totally did that. 60% approval rate from Republicans in my state. Guys, we're in trouble. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Yes, like Sweden and Japan. Yes. Yes. Let's see. I think the best way would be to say we hit the brakes on big government. It's not bad. Try that. What do you think of Amash joining the LP, being the savior of the LP, then quitting his never launched candidacy? Oh, yeah, with those who were nominated. Good question. Actually, I am glad he came in. I was glad when he came in. I'm still glad he came in. And the reason why I'm glad he came in is we got some extra press. We struggle to get press, Frankie. We struggle to get it. And he gave us some. I'll take it. I hope he stays and we get some more. Fine. Yes, whatever press. When he brings press, it's up to us to get our name out. It's up to us to do the right things, us to take advantage of it. We have to take advantage of it. And if we don't, we don't. But we should. So I'm happy he came in. I didn't want him to be a savior. I've said more than once, the party doesn't need a savior. The party needs hundreds of heroes. Hundreds and hundreds of heroes. I'm trying to get people to be heroes, local heroes, moving to the top, so that when one gets hit, we've got 5 more ready to go. If he's our savior, what happens when he leaves? It's Ron Paul. If he leaves, then what do? We lose half our people? No. I want a bunch of heroes. But I'm happy he came in. Please, I hope he stays. I hope he runs again. I hope he runs for Congress or Senate as a libertarian. Let him stay. Happy. Am I disappointed that he quit and left? I am. I wish he had stayed. And to be forward, I wish he had either run earlier and just ran a real campaign all the way through, or I wish he just came in and said, I'm here and helped. And I'll go back to Chafee, right? I wish more people would come in, stay for 4 years, and then run, right? I joined the party in 2012. And I did some of the stuff that all of us have done. I supported candidates by writing checks. I helped write checks for the building that we bought. The LP bought a building in Virginia. I went down there. I raised money in other states before I ran for anything a couple times. I supported Gary Johnson. I drove. I was literally a driver in debate prep for our 2014 gubernatorial candidate. I was that guy until 2016. Then I ran. But I was already a member of my local party, of my state party, of the national party. I was already a member. I'd been around for 4 years. Then I ran for the VP, lost that. Then I ran for governor. If Chafee would have come in and just helped us out and just been with us for 4 years and just learned us who we are more, he would become more libertarian by being around us, maybe done some fundraisers, wrote a couple checks maybe. All those things helped us out for 4 years. Been a speaker at some of our conventions, local and state. He might have got it 2024 or not. He might have, because he would have become more libertarian. He would have known who we are. We would have trusted him. That's the way, right? And when it comes to Amash, if he wasn't going to run, I wish he just would have come in and said, I'm with you guys. Let's do some work together for 4 years. If he'd have done that, 2024, he's a shoo-in. Nobody could have beaten him. Nobody. If he just would have walked in and said, I'm here for you guys. Let's make stuff happen. If he'd have done that, unbeatable 2024. Now, we'll see. I think he still could win 2024 if he tries. I think he still could. But it's not a shoo-in as it would have been if he just would have come in and said, Let's work together, guys, to do it. Unstoppable at that point if it would have happened. So am I happy with those nominated? Yeah. Look, no one nominated wasn't a libertarian. Everyone who was running, I agree with at least 80%. I'm good. Totally happy. Thank you. All right. Where am I? Jorgensen will bring more recognition regardless of outcome, and that fuels local elections. I hope so. Yes. I hope so. Stossel won the final debate. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I love that. And yes, don't miss, he's correct. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Sharpe. Every single Monday night, you see me out here taking all your questions, good or bad, whatever. I take them all. Yes. Yes. Libertarians aren't anarchists. Yeah, I think some are, but libertarians aren't. You're right. Some anarchists are libertarians, and some libertarians are anarchists, but they don't equal the same. You're totally correct. They don't equal each other. They really are. I am not running for VP anymore. My Facebook page still says that because Facebook wouldn't let me change the name right away. I have to wait whatever their time period is to change the name. So I've got to change the name. So actually, I am in the Libertarian Mises Caucus. They just hate me because I didn't support Homburger and they didn't endorse me. But I am actually. Yeah, I know. Kind of weird. But that's what happens. Politics makes weird people mad at people. So yes, but I am part of one. Absolutely. Do you have a plan of action to help Joe across the country? I do not. That will be up to Joe's campaign to come up with that. And I'm happy to be part of that. If they ask me, I'm on board. If they need me to go raise money or if they need me to go show up and MC something, I'm saying it publicly. I'm on board. Yes. But that will be up to her campaign to decide. I don't decide those types of things, but I'm on board. Yes. Let's see. See if I grab some more here. Hold on. I'm gonna grab a couple more. I know you guys got a lot. I'm trying to get them all. I know I am. It becomes hard. It becomes difficult sometimes. I know. Oh, what happened? All righty. Let me see. What did I lose a bunch? Oh, so many things. Okay. Do you think Amash will back Joe? I do. I think Amash will back Joe. I think he'll do it publicly. I believe he will. He did not. No inside information. My view. I think he will. I think he will do it publicly, and I think that will get us some press. As I was mentioning, people like, are you happy he came in and then left? I wish he'd stayed or just run earlier, either one, right? I wish that would have happened, but he's in. Good. Any press Amash gets us, I want. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. No, thank you. No national chair for me. You watch that? Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to be there. Yeah, Larry's saying he likes Howie even though he's a socialist. How dare Larry be human and interact with people? Yeah, look, I don't think lots of people have political views because of what they see in their life, right? I'm a huge Gandhi fan. Huge. I love Gandhi. And Gandhi was basically a socialist. Why? Because what Gandhi saw in his world was the boot of the British Empire or socialism. That's what he saw in his life. So he said, what's better than a boot? I'll take my own local socialism. His words literally were, people will prefer their own bad government to the better government of an alien power. He doesn't care. He wants his own thing. Does that mean he's a bad guy? No, that's what he saw. And so that's what he thought. How he believes socialism is the right answer compared to capitalism. I think he's wrong. That doesn't make him a bad person and I don't like him. Just makes him wrong. Lots of people are wrong. Doesn't mean they're bad. So thank you. And not just that, I've got to talk to the guy. He's an American. He's a New Yorker. Just like me. I got to talk to him. I got to live with him. He's part of my community. Why would I want to hate him? Doesn't make any sense. If I talk to him, maybe I can turn him. In fact, the funny part is when I had him on my show, people assume that all people on the left hate guns. All socialists hate guns. Howie's pro-2A. Totally pro-2A. He literally said, no, an armed populace. That's what socialism is about. An armed populace. And I was like, all right then. So totally happy to talk to anybody. Yes. We should have our nominees named by the beginning of April. It would be nicer. I agree. It would be nicer. Let's see here. Has Joe reached out for your support? Of course, we talked on the phone. Of course. Yes. And whatever she wants. I will do what she asks. Whatever that is. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's see. Do you do these every Monday? I do. Every Monday. I used to do them every Monday at 8 when I had call-ins. But since my overlord, His Majesty King Andrew, has shut everything down, my studio shut down. So now I've moved them out of my studio, and I don't have phone calls now. Now I do this instead, and I do an AMA Ask Me Everything every Monday. It kind of went. We had trouble when I was running with the judges campaign these last couple of weeks. Now I'm back. It'll be 7 p.m. every Monday, AMA. Yes, absolutely. Let me keep going. All righty. When I was going to pros, one thing I learned about goals is SMART, which is an acronym. You mean acronym? Yes. The goals will be short, measurable, realistic, and obtainable. Yes, absolutely. Michael, you're correct. I really want the SMART goal stands for, hold on, short, measurable. Yes. Attainable, realistic, and I forgot time sensitive. I think that's what it's called. I think that's what SMART stands for. I may be wrong on that, but yes, we do want to have goals like that. We want to make sure we have that so we can keep moving forward. Absolutely. Larry Sharpe, immensely, I respect your decision to withdraw yourself from the vice president nomination when Judge Gray had been eliminated. You followed through what you had promised. Thank you, Dan. Yes, I did. I said that. Absolutely. I want to make sure I don't want to be out there bugging you for time, money, energy, which I would have been if I'd have been the VP. If I didn't think I could give you something in return, at least double that. If I can't do that, why would I do that? I'm still a business guy, and I still want to give you, I want to give you value. That's what I'm most concerned about, always. All right, Larry, please run in 3 years. I might. I'm open for all. I'm open to run for governor in 2022. I'm open to run for president in 2024. All depends on what happens. I'm open. I'm not promising anything. I'm open for it. We'll see what happens. We'll see where the world goes. All right. Yes, states should get rid of business licensing. Yes, Norman, please. You know what? I don't want to get rid of it. And let me be clear on this. I want to change this from licensing to credentialing. And that's a nuance, but it's a critical one. If you just get rid of all licensing, the average person gets afraid and goes, what? Now everyone will be killing people in the streets. Obviously not true, but it's a fear that they're going to have. So instead, we have the state credential, meaning that you have the choice, Norman, of getting a state credential or not. But you're not punished if you don't have one. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. And you can still work and do your job without it. The issue is, will the consumer care or not? Again, back to consumer decides, right? So you want to, I see donuts on your thing. So you want to open up a donut store. You can have a credential from the government which says you are a credentialed official donut store, or you can have I'm just a donut store. And if people don't trust you without your credential, then they don't go to you. You better get one. But it means not only the government has a credential, there could be a New York State Donut Association credential, and people will respect that credential or they won't. And how do I know that? I use all the time the idea of if anyone keeps a kosher household, right? New York City has a very large Jewish population, so many of my friends are Jewish. Some of them keep kosher households, some don't, but some do. And if they do, they care, and it's how I learned. One of my friends told me there's a circle on the bottom of certain products. It's a circle with a K. Another circle with, I think, a U, right? I think it's a U and one with a K. And each of them are two separate associations, non-government, that certify something as kosher. So when my friends who keep a kosher household are looking for products, they look for the circle. And the most popular, I think, is Circle U. I think it's the Orthodox Union, I think is the name of the organization. And they look at it. Now, if you don't care about kosher products, you buy whatever you want. You don't care. But if you care, you look for that. And again, you make a government certification. If the consumer cares and says, I trust New York State more than you, Norman, then they only buy stuff with New York State credentials. No worries. They say, I don't care about a state, they buy your product. So I'd like to shift towards credentialing. Still gives the individual the feeling of safety that they may want before they go into the market. And you want a confident consumer to be in the market, but it also gives choice to both the consumer and the business owner. You buy the credential that you think is important for your business. And you might want to buy multiple. You might want to have 2 or 3 credentials if you think that will be better for you in your business. Up to you. So, yes. And to your point, Kathy, yes, financial gathering. They are all about a money grab. They're about a money grab and protecting the big industries. But if you make credentials, it's only if the consumers care, right? So it's not a money grab anymore. It's you're providing value to the market, right? That will provide value to the market. And again, the circle for the kosher households, that's value to the market. There are people who want to keep a kosher household. There's value to that consumer. Same thing. Yes. Jim Gray's been helping down balance for years. Also true. He also ran for Senate. Absolutely. I'm a big fan. Thank you. As I said, Dean, maybe. We'll see. Absolutely. Is there a Louisiana C-SPAN? Maybe there is. I don't actually know. It'd be kind of funny if there was. I love that. Why is healthcare not a human right? Because once you make it a right, now someone has to give it to you. They have to give it to you now. So how can, and it's a great question, how can a service be a right? Right? In New York State, education's a right. I don't know how that's true. How can a service be a right? Right? Freedom is a right. It's not a service. Leave me alone. Life is a right. Don't kill me. It's not a service. But once it becomes a service, how is it a right? Can someone then say, marriage is a right, and you'll get married. Everyone can get married. Everyone. It's not a right. You can do it if you want to, but it doesn't make it a right. Should everyone have health care? Yes. Absolutely. Of course you should get health care. Of course you should. Should anyone try to stop you from getting health care? No, of course not. I mean, very clearly. But is it the state's job? Must the state give you health care? If so, remember, health care, people have to do it. So that means if a doctor then says, you need a prescription, I don't want to give you a prescription, can you sue the doctor? Doctor goes to jail? Service. It's a slippery slope and a horrible one. I don't want to go that route. I don't want to make someone's service a right. That's why, Michael. I don't want to make someone's service a right. Because now I'm literally saying if you're a doctor, you're forced to do whatever. And what's healthcare? Is it because your foot's broken? Is it because you require, now am I judging whether getting your deviated septum fixed is cosmetic or not? Is that what happens then? I think it becomes a problem. So anyway, in Soviet Russia, Convention of States have you. Yes, thank you. Good joke. Okay. So good. All righty. Let's see if I can keep going. There we go. William, because healthcare is a service. Yes. So thank you. William answered the question for me before I did. Yes, absolutely correct. Yes. I want one state to be gold too. Just imagine if we had a state that was gold. Every time you showed that red and blue, electoral map, one's gold. Amazing. The value we have. Yes. We need to form a libertarian PAC. Here's the problem with the PAC. And you guys, some of you who've run know this. Some of you who haven't run don't know this. People don't give big money because of, you're going to get angry, but it's going to say it. They don't give big money because of principles. It's not what they do. People give small amounts because they want to be part of principle. They do. But someone's going to write a check for $10,000, $20,000, or a PAC and put $1 million in, or $100,000 in a PAC. It's not for principles. And it's going to sound horrible, but I'm telling you the truth. They want something in return. They want an investment. They want to know something's going to happen. I raised $500,000 in my race, and many people gave me over 5 figures in my race. In New York State, the maximum you can give is $44,000. I had someone give me almost 30. A couple people give me about 20. I gave myself 10. Some people gave 15. So people gave money to me. And why? It wasn't because Larry's principled. That wasn't the reason. I hope I am, but that wasn't the reason. The reason was Larry will invest in the party. Larry will build a team, which I did. And many of those people ran for office afterwards and won. Larry will build a team across the country, and many of them are on teams now or ran. Larry will inspire others to run, and many have run because of me. Larry will bring tens of thousands of people into the party, and I did. Larry will get ballot access, and I did. Ballot access saved the party. The state party used to drop anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 to get ballot access in New York State. That's gone. They don't have to pay that now. That's gone. So if they don't see value, they don't see it, they're not going to do it. So we need a libertarian PAC. I agree, David. But the big donors have to believe there is going to be some tangible impact. If they don't believe it, they're not going to do it. Doesn't matter about principle. I know it sounds horrible. It doesn't matter about activism. It's irrelevant for the donor. Will I get volunteers for principle? Yep, absolutely. Volunteers will jump on principle all day long. Yes, they will. But big donors, nope. They need to see something. So just being forward about that. I apologize for that. Yes. Judge Gray is still an asset to down ballot. I agree completely. Yes, I agree completely. 100%. Maj Toure, activist. Yes. And I had him on my show. Big fan of Maj. Defended him when he got beat up. I defended him because we need activists like him. He's out there. He's a person of color in an inner city talking about the Second Amendment. I'm in. I am in. Absolutely, I'm in. 100%. What marketing strategy do you think Jorgensen Cohen should do to get eyeballs or new supporters to join the campaign of the party? I thought rebranding Hillary's "I'm with her" on Twitter was hilarious. I agree. Yes, I think that's the kind of thing we need to do. I think we have to go that route. I think that was good. I love the idea. I hope that it'll keep going. We have to keep doing that. That's great now. That will die out in whatever, 30 days or whatever is maybe it's too long, 7 days, whatever is the time period, it'll die out. Another one. Every week, boom, boom. Hopefully Cohen, who has done some of that work in the past, hopefully he'll be able to keep that going. That's my hope, that Cohen will be able to keep that going with different ideas. Or if he doesn't, I don't know Cohen well enough to know if he does it himself or his team does it or a combination. However he works that, whether it's him doing it or his team, I hope he brings that to the campaign because we'll need that every 7 days or so or whatever the time period is. I think it's the right answer. You need to bring more eyeballs. And then once you're there, you've got to have policies. And I know you might think policies, Larry. Yes, third parties have to have policies. If they don't, the rhetoric falls on deaf ears. Or the second, if you don't have enough policies and have rhetoric, the second one rhetoric piece misses, then they go, well, I was going to support Joe, but she said this thing, and now I can never support her. Happens all the time, constantly. The problem is they can go someplace else. Well, libertarians, they often can't. And it sounds horrible. But I had a guy once tell me, literally, well, Larry, I was going to support you for governor, but, you said that you might be able to find an above-ground answer for the subway. I'm not joking. You said that could be possible, so I can never support you now. And I said, what do you do? Vote for Cuomo now? Because libertarian. Yeah, stop. So that's one thing you disagree with me on. Okay, so now I'm not valuable anymore? Of course, because you're libertarian. But if you're a Democrat or Republican and the same thing happens, well, I don't agree with you on that. They go right back to where they came from. So you got to have so many policies that make sense and affect them. We can't talk about things they don't care about, right? We care about lots of things. The average American doesn't. You've got to find what the average American cares about, have policies for that they really like. Then they'll overlook the other ones. Otherwise, they won't. They won't overlook it. They'll go back to their old ways. So, all right. Let's see. Why are we twittering? I don't know why. You're putting all celebrities in a box. Yeah, Ryan, it's a valid criticism. Maybe I am. But many of them are that way. So maybe I'm wrong. You know what? Maybe I am putting it. It's a valid criticism. Maybe I'm putting too many in a box. Many of them are that way. Not all. You're right. There are some who aren't. And we should find more of them. It's true. Yes, not all in a box. Good. I cannot tell you enough about pushing the Overton window. Yes, I'm a big fan. People get mad at me when I say I like incrementalism. I want to keep moving the window. I want to keep doing it. I keep saying that, right? People get mad at me. Incrementalism doesn't work. Incrementalism is the only thing that works. There's nothing else. Nothing else. It's a saying in business. It took her 10 years to become an overnight success. Because to the outside, it seemed to just fall. But it took her 10 years of busting her rump until she finally got to the right spot to where she'd explode. It was incrementalism. She got better. Malcolm Gladwell's written books on this. It's a fact. It's published. It's known. It's the only thing that works, with one exception. Violence. That's it. Violence, it does work. I know people yell, we got to abolish and get rid of and destroy, and that's the way, in a hard, principled look for everything. When has that ever worked? Literally never, with the exception of violence. If you're ready to fight and kill people, put them in jail, your principles will absolutely work. Absolutely. Well, Larry, the principle is about a revolution. Yes, our violent revolution. Yes. And the French violent revolution. Yes. That's what happens. I would rather us not go down that route. I'd rather us take the Overton window route and not have civil war or revolution. Don't get me wrong. That might be where we're going. I got it. But I'm going to do what I can to not do that. All this, we're going to abolish and principle stuff, has never worked without violence. Never. The only thing that's ever worked without violence is incrementalism. That's how it works. That's human nature. That's what happens. Documented fact. I would hope you could show me that I'm wrong. I've never seen it. Never heard of it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. All right. There we go. Celebrities as mouthpieces, not candidates. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I agree completely. Free Snowden. Yes. Your favorite Reddit libertarian. Thank you for agreeing with me. I appreciate that. Yes. Do you believe the Free State Project will give the LP a gold state win in the near future? I hope so. There are a lot of local projects that are working, and I really hope that eventually they begin to work. I hope so tremendously. I really do. I think it could. I've been libertarian for 40 years. Love you, Judge. Thank you so much, Christine. I appreciate that. I really do. We're not done. We're still going. Absolutely. Larry, I'm about to end Josh's whole career. Okay, don't leave Josh alone. He's mad. He's mad. Exactly. What about a campaigning 101 book and a course from Larry Sharpe? I'm actually working on 3 books, slowly, each one of them. The first one's going to be on happiness. The second will be on leadership. And the third one will be on government. I hope to have one of them out this year, one of them out next year, and one out the year after that. So I will be putting out books eventually. It just takes time. For those of you who've ever written books, it takes time. And I'm actually a speaker. I'm not a good writer. I'm a good speaker. So I have other people helping me to write them. They are much better at that than I am. So I talk, they write, they make things better. So yes. So I like that. I'm glad I brought you in. I appreciate that. Ron Paul brought a lot of people in. And this is one issue that we have. There are a lot of people who say, well, Ron Paul was heavily this and heavily that, and he said these things and brought people in. Yes, he did. And he was also a Republican at the time. The media gave him a mouthpiece because he was Republican. Remember Gary Johnson, first Republican. The media paid attention to him when he was Republican. Once you're not part of the left-right paradigm, the media tends to ignore you. I know. I saw it happen in my campaign. They tend to ignore you. It's a different animal. And people who come over from the left or the right who have been campaigning as Republicans or Democrats, it is a shock when they all of a sudden change flags. And they think, I'm still the same guy. You change flags, man. You don't have a red or a blue flag on you anymore. They treat you differently. You go from the acceptable to some guy that doesn't believe. You just became a heretic. You became a traitor to our two-party system. It's a problem. So Republicans, by being critical of Senators Rand Paul and Mike Lee, Representative Justin Massey and Thomas Massey, are driving libertarians from their party. I think that's true. I think that is true. But I'm not sure if they're coming to us. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how we're going to see that. I don't know how that plays out. Because again, eventually Trump is no longer president, right? Whether it's next January or 4 Januarys from now. Either way, at one point, Trump's not president anymore. And when he's not president, that cult of personality at the top of the Republican Party goes away. And when that cult of personality goes away, the question is who fills that gap and how is it filled? If Trump loses in November, I'm not saying he will, I have no idea. But if he loses, he won't be president in January. And when that happens, Republicans may go back to an older idea or older view. You never know what the party might reform itself into. Or some other ideologue might jump up and, demagogue, so not ideologue. Demagogue might pop up and, be the new cult leader. I don't really know. So maybe I think we'll know more, I think, after the election, right? If Trump actually does lose, things may change. If Trump wins again, I think you're right. Some of them are going to say, wait a minute, I can't be here anymore because they're not part of the Trump cult. They're going to go someplace else. Did you get the Gathering Storm expansion? I did not. The last extension I've gotten, I've been so busy. I've not played as much as I should have played. I just haven't. So maybe it'd be better. Tim, you play Fortnite. Well, there is something I play. It's funny. This is going to sound weird. One of the things I've played in the past is with my daughters. My daughters like to play Roblox. I'm not a massive Roblox fan at all. I'm not. But I thought, well, I could spy on my kids, but I don't want to spy on them. I don't want to do that. So instead, I play with them. So I will play Roblox with my daughters. I have one daughter who's 16 and one is 10, and both play different parts of Roblox. And I will play with them. And what I'll play with them. So I know who they are and who they're playing with and their friends are. So, yep, we'll play, and we're going to go into Princess Castle. All right, Princess Castle we go, but I know your friends, and your friends know I'm here. So you can't get scammed or mess with a bollard because Dad's here, and I make sure they know that. So, yes, I do that. So I do play some of those games that my daughters play. My daughters don't play Fortnite, so I don't play it. But I play whatever my daughters play. They do play Roblox, and my oldest one used to play Minecraft. She doesn't play anymore, I don't think. But she used to, and I used to play with her there too. Whatever. I will play what my daughters play because I want to be part of their world. And the other thing is, if you have kids today, you know that very often kids will just get on their devices. When they get on devices, they don't do anything but sit in their devices. The idea of a board game where we're all playing together, in many cases, has gone away. Now, my family has board games, and we play them sometimes, but not as much. The girls don't like it as much as I did when I was a kid. I loved board games as a kid, right? But not as much. But we do play a little bit. So what we'll do instead is we'll all play Roblox in the same world together. So we're all sitting in a room, all on devices, talking and joking together. So we're still communicating, we're still talking, and we're still playing together, but we can be on devices because my daughters like to be on devices. So we do that sometimes too. So I stand corrected, Tim. Thank you for that. There are some other video games I play, but they're not really for me. They're just the family time. If that makes any sense. We do family time. And I just bought my daughter a Switch. So we may start doing that too. So thank you for that. I actually didn't even think about that, but I do that. Yep. All right. Yes. ColecoVision. You remember. And of course, Pong. Yes. I remember when one of my friends had Pong, the first one. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I wanted to play all day, all night. And now it's like, are you kidding me? Yes. Yes. It'll be cute to see who sticks around to help Joe and down ballot candidates, which is appear. Yes, Aaron. Yes. Yes, you are so right. This is what's going to show, Aaron, who stays, right? So many of us, we play, we get our butt kicked, and we walk away. So many of us get our butt kicked and walked away, but they don't. I got to tell you, Vora can be harsh and nasty, but he stays and he's principled. So stay. I'm good. Stay. Supreme's probably going to stay. Supreme's been with us for years. He's probably going to stay too. I know Kokesh. He's staying. Kokesh is staying. He's not going anywhere. Chafee, I don't know. Holmberg, I don't know. Mons, I don't know. I know Gray. He's staying. I know that. I hope Amash will stay tremendously. Again, Amash is our most popular libertarian. I want him to stay. I know some of you go, but he's not libertarian enough. I don't care. He's popular. He'll give us press. It's our job to take advantage of the press and to show who we are. So stop bashing these people. If they're going to stay and give us press, bring them. I was the one talking 6 months ago. Bring Amash. Bring Howard Schultz when he was running, it was a year ago, when he was running independent. Like, bring him aboard. Bring Tulsi Gabbard aboard. All of them. Bring them. If they're bringing press, I'm in. I want the press. Then we can show them how cool we are. You are correct, Aaron. We'll see. All right, that's it. I'm buying Civ 6. That's it. I'm buying Civ 6. I'm buying a new. I'm buying a new one. I'm sorry. I only have the original Civ 6. I don't have any of the expansions. I'll buy them. Fine. You win. I'll stop playing next week. Done. Okay. Yes. Yes, Tim. You haven't played in your campaign. I know how that works, Tim. I know how busy you get. The Republicans have given up in New York. I agree. There are actually Republicans now. It's funny. I've been open about it. There are Republicans now who have been talking to me, and people got mad at me, who were talking about trying to get me to run a ticket in 2022 because they know how bad it is, right? Now, I'll be very clear. The official Republican Party has not done this. I'm being very clear. I don't want anyone to say the Republican has not done this. I'm saying Republicans within the party have already come to me asking if I'd consider running as Republican in 2022. They asked me, by the way, in 2017, if I'd be their lieutenant governor. And I was like, I could lose on my own. I don't need you. And I proved them right. I could lose on my own. So yes, so they already asked me. The issue that I have is Republicans aren't effective in statewide elections. Don't get me wrong. To be very clear, locally Republicans win in New York City. I'm sorry, New York State, not New York City. In New York State, Republicans do win locally, but statewide they haven't won an election in about 20 years now. They're not going to win a statewide election. The only way of getting a non-Democrat in a statewide election is voting gold. It's not going to happen. It's something like almost 3-1 Democrat Republican now, because as New York State loses about 100,000 people every year, most of them are conservatives and or Republicans who are leaving. So the state's getting more lopsided, Democrat to Republican. So yes. Thank you. Joe says 2-1. I think it's more like almost 3-1 now. Yes. All right. Yeah, exactly. Kokesh will stick around. He's been around. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's staying. I like Amash too. Happy to have him. Happy to have him. Let him stay as long as he wants. Happy to have him. So, Chafee was dipping his toe in. I can't blame him for running away. But see, if Chafee wants to stay, he's got some money. He's got some contacts. Let him stay. Let him stay with us for 4 years. Learn the party. Understand who we are. Support some candidates. Look, if you hang out with us for 4 years, if you really do, you're going to become more libertarian or you'll leave. You simply aren't going to stay and not become more libertarian. It's how it works. So let him stay with us for 4 years. Hang out with us. Go to the conventions. Meet us. Spend some money. Do some fundraisers for us. Let him stay, Joe. Let him. I hope Chafee stays. If he stays for 4 years, he'll get more libertarian. We'll trust him more. And maybe he could run again in 2024. Maybe he has a chance of winning then. I think it might work at all. It might work completely. And I think Amash too. I hope he stays. I love it. I really hope he stays. So, Larry, when you come upstate again. And as I mentioned already, I want to be clear. I'm already talking to Tony DeRazio, who's the New York State chair, about coming. I've been talking this week. I haven't talked yet. I texted him already. We're going to talk this week about coming with a plan to support the candidates who are running upstate. So I am going to come up with a plan, figure that out, what makes the most sense. Travel to support Jo Jorgensen to make sure we get some New Yorkers voting for her, to make sure some press shows up. If Jo and I have already discussed this, actually not her personally, her campaign manager, I've discussed this, the idea of me somehow having some kind of title with the campaign, so that when I go up there, I'll get press to come in and go, yes, representative of the campaign, former gubernatorial candidate, supporting, I don't know, someone like Tim O'Connor as an example. Someone like that is here, that kind of thing. So I will be coming up there probably sometime, obviously like next month, not this month, next month, and for the next 5 months or so until the election day. So it will be happening. I don't know yet. When it happens, it'll be on my Facebook page as always. It'll be on all the events. It will happen. All right. Run as a Dem, then switch parties when you win. I thank you for that idea. You aren't the first person who's told me to do this. The issue is it's a bit unethical. I'd rather not be unethical. And I'm not a Democrat, right? People ask me, why don't you run as a Republican? I'm not a Republican. If I was a Republican, then that'd be great, but I'm not. So yes, I hope they both stay. Exactly right. I think both should stay. I hope they stay. I really want them to stay because, again, that's how we get press. That's how we can make something happen. Absolutely. All right. See if I can keep going here. Where am I? Hold on. The Congress now has one good circle. Justin, yes. All right. We'll see if we can turn it all gold. I hope so. Yes. Also, thank you, Larry, for everything you've done for New York. Donated, voted for you. Thank you so much. And somehow got my mom to vote for you. Oh, my God. Despite being partisan. Who thinks Trump is playing 4D chess. I hear that often. I appreciate that. Awesome. I love that. Let's keep doing that. All right. What's the solution to social media censorship? It is lots of social media, right? Being more popular and lots of social media. That is the answer. Being more popular with a bunch more social media. That's the answer. Absolutely. We do that more and more, things begin to work. All right. See if I can keep going here. Back to healthcare. I point to the show of My 600-Pound Life. Those people did that to themselves. No one forced them to eat like that. Why should we pay for their eating? This is why universal care won't work. Joe, I'm going to give you a different view on this one. We did it to them. I know you said, what? Yeah, we did. I'll tell you why. This is the perfect example of good intentions having horrible consequences. And I go back to the ADA, the Americans with Disability Act. Yes, which had nothing but good intentions. And I think the people who put that enacted that, they believed they were going to help people with real disabilities. They were going to help the weakest among us. I think their intentions were nothing but good. What wound up happening? People who were overweight wound up being sued. They sued and said, okay, you're disabled. You're overweight. Look at people who are over 600 pounds. I'm going to bring this up, Joe. There's not just one show. There are multiple 600-pound, very, very obese, overweight people shows. There's like One Ton Family, My 600-Pound Life. Then there's the special one. That's like the 600-pound long show, whatever. There's tons of them. There's that many people in this country that big. If you ever watch the show, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but so you know, if you ever watch the show, a huge chunk of these people are too big to where they can't even go to work. They can't feed themselves. Literally, some of them cannot get out of bed to cook or to gather food. How are they getting food? How are they making money? How are they eating? Government's giving them a check every month. Government's paying the rent. Government's giving them a check every month. Yes, the government is literally enabling them. If the government wouldn't give them a check for being overweight, they couldn't spend the money on the food to be overweight. They have no money. They'd have to work. So at one point, they couldn't be so big to not work. That physically couldn't work because they then couldn't buy the food to get that big. For you to be 700 pounds, you have to be eating like 10,000 calories a day or something like that. I don't know the math, but something large like that. You can't buy that amount of food. You can't make it. It's impossible. So I would say, Joe, we meaning the government, we made them that big. There was no 600-pound show before the ADA. Didn't exist. There were hardly people who were that big. They couldn't be that big. Impossible. Once you start getting so big you can't work, you can't make enough money to buy the food, so you can't be that big. But the other part is, now you can be a caretaker. So why is there always an enabler who keeps the person big? Because now they get paid as a caretaker. So now the person who's big gets a check, and the person who takes care of the person who's big gets a check. So the person who takes care of them is the person feeding them, making them bigger. So the government gives that person a check to make them big, and then a person check to feed them, right? I mean, the person who's eating gets a check to stay big. So just let me turn that on you a little bit. That's all, brother. So let me turn that. Yes, we're still going. Your spamming did not stop us. Absolutely, yes. What political topics do you notice bridge the right-left gap most effectively? There are many of them. One of them is education. Big one, education. Second, foreign policy. Those two tend to bridge that. And the last one is overall fairness. Those three things will bridge if you talk about end game, not specifics. End game, you can win. Only about the end game. Yes. All right. I've been a card-carrying member of the Libertarian Party for 40 years. Keep the good work, Larry. Thank you. The Overton window. Yes, everything. Has been thinking you should reach out to Glenn Beck. I was on his show twice. I believe he wrote a book with that title. He leans for Libertarian. Even though back. I was on Google Larry Sharpe, Glenn Beck. I was on his show twice. Absolutely. I know Glenn. He's got the Blaze thing going on. Absolutely. He does lean Libertarian. He's pro-Trump, though, right now. He has been off and on the Trump train. He is now absolutely on the Trump train right now. So I don't think he's going to be one of our allies at this moment. Maybe after the election he might be again, but he's definitely on the Trump train right now. Gary Johnson, Dr. Lark got me to where I am now as a Libertarian. Yes, Dr. Lark is brilliant. Larry, Larry, fire me up and give me great hope. 100%. Let's keep moving. I love it. Thoughts on Thomas Massey? Massey, come aboard, brother. Come aboard. I've met him. If he's watching, I hope he is. If some of his people are watching, come aboard. Happy to have you. I would ask, though, that you don't come aboard right before your election. I would like you to come aboard after you're elected, right? You get elected again, change. Do that Dem thing the guy just told me to do. Become a Dem and then switch. Do that. So that you get a couple of years as a libertarian. And then when you want us, we are more than happy to get behind you, jump on board, and run. That's what I'm saying. Do that. That's good. Yes, there are a ton of them. Yeah, that was good, Joe. I didn't. Did I say that? See that? I'm funnier than I thought. I love that. I'm funnier than I thought. All right. Yes, Jake, I'll come up and see you too. Of course. Absolutely. I will definitely come up. Absolutely. I will see you all. Yes. All right. Let me see if I can keep going. I think sunset on all laws. Yes, absolutely. Sunset all day long. It's the best way of changing things. 100%. Yes. Beck is off and on. Yes, I agree. Tom, Beck goes libertarian, then he goes conservative, then he goes Trump train, then he goes libertarian, then he goes conservative, then he goes Trump train. He does bounce around. He definitely does. But he does lean libertarian. That's true. Without question, he does lean libertarian. That's absolutely true. He leans it. Yes. All right. That's true. And many of them have, by the way. We actually have. I'm glad Syracuse misses me. Look, guys, I'm going to let you run. It's past and I went over 2 hours. And, even Davenport's mad at me now for going too long. I appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you so much. This is my normal thing I do all the time. Like, comment, and share whenever you possibly can. You guys know it matters. But please, head over right now. Go to the Facebook page and like it. It matters. Head over to the YouTube. Go over to Sharpe Way. Like it. It matters. Twitter, it matters. If you like what I'm doing, if it's valuable to you, if it matters, then please head over to patreon.com/SharpeWay and throw me a couple bucks. Throw me $5, $10, $20. If you're wealthy, do $100, $200, $500 a month. If you got all that kind of cash, I hope you're that wealthy. That's amazing. Do that. It's awesome. I like to do that. And yes, take care, guys. I will talk to you all very soon.